All right, welcome everybody to another episode of the Myth Podcast. I am GKG. I'm joined with my co-host Asmo. Today we are going to go over the MWC 2012. I believe this is the bottom bracket finals. Is that right, Asmo?
Yeah, it is.
And this is the Southern Parkians against uh NP. Were they just called NP? I don't know.
Name changers.
Oh, NC. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an NP Cox roster more than NC though, right? Oh, my team.
Uh,
They were called my team.
or no, you're thinking of my team. This one's you played them in the finals. This is
Oh, I'm looking at the
NC
wrong
versus.
film. Okay, my
Yeah,
bad.
you must have the wrong
Yeah,
films.
yeah. We're doing the bottom bracket finals, which is NC versus SP. Okay, that's right. Okay, where is this in the? I was looking at the wrong one.
It's called Mithril Cup 2K12, and then it has their team names. If you download the ones that I sent.
Okay, I'm blind. Um, there it is. Okay, got it. Got it. All right. Yeah, I just saw SP there and I was like, oh, this must be it. Okay. So, yeah, just to reiterate, avoid confusion here. We're talking about 2012 bottom bracket finals at Southern Parkians versus NC. That's right. All right, here we go. Um, yeah, I guess I'll just add a little context to this before we start. Yeah, I'm capping this. This was, you know, not quite the Bulls, but a very similar Bulls, pretty similar to the Bulls roster. Most people consider them two separate teams. They're kind of like a hybrid. It's not, I guess, it's not really an extension of the Bulls dynasty, really, but there are some core members that are the same. Myself, Ghengis, and Browning and Paris here are all carryovers from the Bulls from the championship team the year prior. Um, the last hetero, I do not know who that is actually. Um, do you happen to, I don't know why you would know Asmo more than me if I don't even know, but
Oh yeah, that's Homer. I'm pretty sure.
oh, Homer's on my team. I actually don't remember that. Was Homer on the Bulls? I guess he was. Yeah, okay.
I don't. I mean, I don't know if he was on the Bulls or not, but he didn't
No, he must have
play
been.
for you guys much if he
He
was.
must have been. I mean, Genghis and Homer, they always come in a pair, right? So, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then NC here, let's see. Chen Kenichi, is that August? Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
Sam Sam. Substitute Norris is Shaister. I don't
Yep,
know. Is that right?
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Fire Alarm is Limp.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know Captain was with NC that year. That's interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, and I missed Eric is Eastwind. Professional killer is professional killer.
I guess just the thing to note from the rosters is you guys are missing Cruniac, who was a pretty staple guy for you guys throughout that tournament, and then NC is missing Adrenaline.
Good point. Yeah, this is my first year teaming with Cruniac, and my last year teaming with Genghis and Homer. Um, all right, yeah. Oh, yeah. Little bit more context is we got swept. The other leading team in this was the NPT Cox roster I was talking about before. They swept our team earlier in this tournament. Um, Back when, like, I think Paris and I split capping duties for that match, and it just did not go well. I was really trying to avoid capping in the early parts of the tournament. So we're kind of going into this, trying to claw our way back into the finals and get a rematch against the team that swept us. But yeah, is this the last year we saw an NC
NC,
team?
sort of. Yeah, I'd
Sort
say
of,
so.
yeah.
I don't think 2013 was really NC. That was just like a mix. Yeah, I think so.
2013.
It was the TMNS.
TMN. Oh yeah. That was that. Well, that's a story for another day. But yeah, that was not quite NC. Yeah. You're right about that. Okay.
Yeah, I think there was an NC-ish team in like 16 maybe, but like I think this is the last NC team that most like NC guys would consider NC.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. In fact, I think the NC guys they would even they would even argue that like it was earlier was the last NC team, right? Like they're
Yeah,
already kind of
probably.
like disputing these years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could question captain and Zach, sort of. I don't know. Yeah, probably not Zach, but whatever. It's close to. I mean, you got
Yeah,
five
Captain
NC guys.
and Captain and to a lesser extent Zach are like the only ones not. I mean, Zach is more. Zach's pretty NC, although they may not want to associate with Zach so much. But he hangs out with that group a lot. So, Captain's the only one that's like definitely not NC, right? So yeah. All right. Yeah, let's kick these films off. 1.7.1. Okay.
Do you remember these games at all?
Kind of. I mean, I remember the general outcome. I remember the last. I think the last game maybe. Day at the Beach. I think is one of the games. That's about all I remember.
It's at the beach. I want to say I put it in this draft tournament that's happening right now. I don't think it's been played since this series we're about to see,
So this
like in a
is.
tournament setting, anyways.
Yeah, I'm curious how I captained way back then because this is my only my second year capping, like a top contending team. And we have Tamerlan Light. I I think I'm happy with my trade so far. Let's see what they got. Oh, they got the same thing pretty much.
Yeah, doesn't look like there's any advantage
Looks
in
like
terms of
neither one of
trade.
us maxed goals.
That's probably one thing you'd change, right? If from now.
Probably. I would think so. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, since it's flag rallies, if it was territories, I think the doors is probably fine. I mean, this trade is fine, but I think max goals instead of a couple doors maybe, since it's flag rally.
Yeah, it's
And you
hard
could
to
go
say about
for
the
bottle
dwarfs.
plus,
This is
yeah.
like a rare instance where maybe you would go heavier dwarfs. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, I guess. But I definitely think some dwarfs is more valid here, right? Like I definitely think a trade with dwarfs loses or beats a trade with no dwarfs. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think
No, this type.
would you get a thrall here? You think because it is flag rally, you do need to guard usually a couple flags. I mean, victory imminent here does matter. I think because you do have the flag at the start that is on a pretty defensible hill. So I think victory imminent. If you can get a VI and retreat to that flag, that does give your team a pretty good advantage.
I mean, NC got 3 thrall. I think like 3, 6 thrall might be. Or probably 6 thrall instead of one more dwarf. How many dwarfs do you guys have? 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, maybe trade out one of the dwarfs for 6 thrall.
Oh, you know what? I do remember this game now. All of a sudden, I won't spoil it, but it does not end well for us. The other thing I can remember is, or the other thing I was going to mention was, I have seen sometimes it play out where people try to defend one of the Northwest flags, because if you can get
Uh-huh.
control of that mountain up there and defend it, that's like basically game over right there, right? So.
A lot of good flags to defend. Yeah, those northwest ones, if you can defend that. Even the home ones have some elevation.
All right, I am at 0. You ready to start it?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Game on.
Splits are pretty even. Brownie has the highest percent. What does he have? Just the same squad with a few more melee, I guess.
You got PK and Homer and Genghis South. I'm taking mid. I like that. I usually like to have the captain middle. It's easier to maintain awareness of the battlefield around the map.
I'm wondering if their strategy is to control one of those northwest flags. They are sending 5 dwarfs in that direction. That has to be their strategy.
Interesting. Yeah, the risk of that strategy, of course, is if you don't get the lead,
Flag.
then you're kind of trapped up there too, right?
Get stuck up there for sure.
Yeah. That's why I wouldn't necessarily like go for that per se, but
Flag captured.
we'll see what happens. I'm by myself middle. That's interesting. So I went really
Flag
heavy on the
captured.
flanks. Okay, Browning, Paris, and Eastwind on the north.
Flag
west.
captured.
I mean, your north should probably be able to, or not north, sorry, the east should be able to push as much as they want to. They got 3 dwarfs over there against 0.
Flag captured.
Oh, you guys got mid and they didn't.
They went midless too. So we went on light mid and they went no mid basically.
I'm
Flag
very surprised that
captured.
you guys got mid first because they got a mini ghoul pack. Scott does, and he didn't pick up any pus or small pus until just now, so I figured they get mid first, you know?
Yeah, I don't even know how they didn't do that because yeah, I definitely grabbed pus. Unless I did it, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I have no idea. I'm guessing he did not go straight for the flag somehow. He was like somehow slow.
Yeah.
So we got 2 dwarfs against no dwarfs for them in the south. So they're going to just slowly retreat off that south most likely. Northwest's going to have a big face-off here. We got 3 dwarfs against their like 5. Yeah, 3 against 5. As long as my guys can find like a little bit of high ground to hold from, they should be able to hold that okay.
I like where Browning's at right now. Browning's making it hard for
Yeah.
them to really make a push.
Yep. We do have a little danger here. August leaking into our backfield here. What am I doing? I need to be doing something. I sent.
You're
Okay, I
going
like that.
for-
I sent 3. I sent 2 more warriors back to D. I like that.
They're making one Scob, or no, Limp pull back, it looks like, from the north.
Where am I? I don't even see.
You're
where
in the northwest.
Oh, I'm in the backfield. Yeah,
Oh.
it's kind of like southwest, really.
The west, yeah. Yep. A lot of pus going down.
Yeah, a
both
lot of
sides,
pus. Ooh, that one
no,
pus hits 2 dwarfs on us.
No
Ooh.
follow up.
No follow-up, though.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Nope, he
that
gets
goal's
one.
gonna get it. Yep.
So.
Man. All right.
Oh, there is a pus though too over where Browning's at.
It's about to get blown. Oh, that almost hit. Looks like we gave up that flag 3. That's a big mistake.
Wow. In the east, you guys
Yeah,
are
we should have never given that up.
That was
Homer just barely. Yeah, August kind of barely squeaked it out. He lost it. He got punished for it, but he did squeak it out. Our East kind of screwing up this defense, I feel, a little bit.
Flag captured.
Yeah, I'm trying to. You guys are down like 8%.
I did get their home. No VI yet still. Both teams looking for two tags. I'm going in for the flag 6 there, and I'll probably get it in due time unless they send more D. Oh no, actually, that's Ghengis. Ghengis is gonna grab it even.
No.
East is stabilizing for us, although we already gave up the tag, unfortunately. And how is our Northwest doing? Man, it looks kind of rough. We only got 1 dwarf. Oh no, there's 2 dwarfs there. No, our Northwest is holding okay. So.
That VI, which you have now.
Oh, okay.
Victory.
We got VI first. I can't believe we still lost this. Okay, so watch the Northeast. The Northeast. I got 3 warriors there. Okay, it's still good.
Your East let their East leak by way too easy. I don't know if anything's gonna be decided there, but their pathing was not great for covering that.
Homer is shadowing it. Yeah, that is a little bit of they got a little bit of a breakaway there because it is only 3 warriors guarding that flag, and we really got to hold it. Otherwise, like, it does look pretty okay for us, I would say. I do think our Homer is going to get back to assist that D in time. Oh, actually, no. We're still in trouble because it's only Homer. Homer's the only one there. And that's a huge leak. Shai has a huge force, 18% going to our flag there.
Ghengis is coming, but he's quite a bit behind.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I didn't realize. I think we're going to lose this no matter what, actually, now that I look at it again.
Yeah, I'm assuming this flag gets lost, right? Unless if
Yeah.
they're making a mistake, though. They're making a massive mistake right now. They're engaging in a fight. They should be pushing towards the flag. Look, the dwarf's gonna get up there now.
Right. Yeah. I see what you're saying. They could have cut that dwarf off from the high ground. Yeah. Oh, two dwarfs. We got two dwarfs going there. Genghis is there. Oh yeah.
They needed to be committed there. They couldn't fool around with the
I totally
flag
agree. They should have went straight for that flag and then start to harass and cut off the dwarf from the high ground.
So they're calling off the push on your home, and they're gonna try to push.
I'm surprised. I thought we lost this here. My memory of this is poor, obviously. So yeah, our northeast does stabilize on that flag, but now, of course, they're going to pinch our northeast from behind. Now, in this position right here, I would have loved to have seen Eastwind and Browning. One of them has to back up to hold that like, if you're going to get pinched, at least punish them coming up that choke, you know what I mean? So one of the dwarfs has to fall back to that choke and just punish them for it. Like, yeah, it sucks having to hold off the front of that with just one dwarf. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of screwed no matter what. This is going to be a really good pinch for them. Yeah, I would actually say they could walk off this. I think Eastwind and Browning should just do a full retreat, walk off that flag. And just do a counter pinch. Counter pinch what they have on the ramp.
I agree. Yeah, counter pitch August would be their best move right now. Yeah, they lost the flag.
Because once they run that choke, it's a lot easier to hold off that front assault. So here's where we lose it. So they got VI. We are looking okay right now. But then you watch the northeast, and I where's my units? I'm helping to. They pushing north. Where's my units at? I don't know. I think I'm controlling. Oh yeah, there. I'm in the northwest. And here you go. This is Limp harassing me while I'm microing the northwest. I'm coordinating this counter pinch in the northwest a little bit, and Limp walks my warriors off the flag. So that's me getting punished for not putting my shit on guard. Oh, one more hit would have died too.
Flag
captured.
Yeah. So that was me, like, just doing too much shit, and man, I should have put the fucking warrior on G. That's a huge mistake right there. Jesus. Yeah, we probably would have had that. I think it's hard to say, but I definitely think odds were in favor for us to win that.
There's a lot of swings in that game. You had a flag advantage. They had it, then you had it.
Yeah, this is one of those instances of, like, besides forgetting to put the guard on my flag D, which, you know, obviously is a pretty shitty mistake to make. It's also one of those instances where, like, you ever get, like, bloodthirsty for some, like, really juicy kill you're microing on the other side of the map? I think that's what was going on, because we were I think we had a really clean kill on their northwest there that I was getting involved in, and it just looked too good, and it took my attention away, you know? So
what did PK have that game?
He had I think he did have a dwarf. I think, yeah, we had 3 dwarfs on that south, and he must have lost his dwarf pretty early on, because I only ever saw 2 dwarfs down there. I'm pretty sure he had a dwarf or some melee. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had that. Yep. August, I mean, he put up some big numbers. I don't remember exactly what the hell he killed, to be honest.
He killed one of the dwarfs in the east. I know that. I don't know what else.
Like, that wouldn't give you that big of a number. You know what I mean? These numbers are old VC numbers too. I keep forgetting that. So these are, like, kind of inflated on the high end compared to what they are today. But still, relative to everybody else's number, I guess Paris is kind of close to that number too. But I mean, August, yeah, he was all over the map. He got that. He got that tag. I mean, if they didn't get that tag on flag 3, they would have been really boned, like super boned. They almost didn't tag any of our flags, almost, right? Like they only got them all kind of, except for that that northwest. Like that one, they definitely pushed us off of. But otherwise, the home flag, they kind of squeaked the tag on that, and the flag 3 in the east, they squeaked the tag on that. This is really a lesson. I mean, we kind of saw this in the most recent finals too. Like, you can't sleep on those tags, man. Like, sometimes squeaking those tags by ends up deciding games. You know what I mean? And yeah, like play the game type. We've been playing Flag Rally for as long as this game been around, almost 30 years, and I really feel like people kind of take it for granted, like, oh, I know how to play Flag Rally, but like here we go, even I'm making stupid fucking mistakes in a high pressure match, with the tags. So you really gotta pay more attention to those damn tags and defending them too. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Zach had actually a decent game too. I don't know where he was actually. Huh.
He was in the north. I'm not sure what he killed though.
He must have had a dwarf. Probably hit some stuff. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's hit the next game up. 1-0 NC. That's a bit painful to lose like that too.
Yeah, it's a bit rough for sure. Game 1. This next one's full-on BC game, last minute on the hill, and a game where you have to force a fight like early on. There's a big old hill in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, normally I would favor us heavily for this kind of game. Of course, I remember what the outcome was, but like normally, like we have Ghengis and myself, who are definitely like the 2 best throwers in the game at this point, and they don't really have any throwers, so it's like, damn. Well, Sam's a thrower. I forgot about Sam. Can't disrespect Sam like that. But Sam doesn't have the throw. I don't even know if he'll
get the throw though.
yeah. Shaister has the throw. So
who's that? Shaister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ghengis does have the throw. Okay.
Trade's pretty similar, if not the exact same. Let's see.
Yeah.
You guys have one more, and I don't know what to have more of, but it's essentially the same trade.
Man, I really feel like NC. I feel like they may. I don't know. We'll see in the remaining games. Maybe I'm speaking too soon, but it really feels like they adjusted from the year prior, maybe somewhat. I don't know. Maybe we haven't really seen a map that really tests that theory yet. I mean, this is a heavy trade anyway, so.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm ready when you are. I'm at 9:58 though.
Okay, let me get to 9:58. We got August captain. Yeah, I like them putting captain on fetch. That's like obviously his strongest unit set by far. And I mean, captain's already a decent player, but like he definitely punches even above his weight more so with fetch. And then you got Limp and Ska with souls. Pretty much spread already on the rest. Do they give every mortar 2 morts? Because I would normally do double morts for everybody on every mortar guy on this. No, Ska and Limp have a single mort each. Did I do double morts? Ooh, I don't like this. I did 3 morts. Oh no, I don't like that.
Oh yeah, for Homer.
No, Homer and Browning both. I guess I was short.
Oh, did you get 6? Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Okay, you got 6 more. So what do they have more of than you?
And I'm doing all the souls. I'm doing all the souls. Why did I not? Oh, did I split the fetch 3 ways? That's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe two-way.
Yeah, I would probably
Fetch
split the
split might be
fetch
better
two
here.
ways and do 3 mortar guys. If I had to do it. Three mort squads, I would not do that today. That's not a good idea. It's hard to even stop them from autoing at that point sometimes. So, all right, you ready to start it?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. It's 8 fetch. It's not even 9 fetch, it's 8. So I'm really surprised I did it 3 ways. It's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah. Not a big deal, but I did notice that a few people sent their units to bed like a couple seconds late. Like, not the end of the rules, but like, big match, like, you gotta be on top of it, especially for a game type like this, where mid is the game, you know?
Yeah.
You want every little advantage you can get.
Yeah, no, for sure. Those little
Flag
details of the
captured.
squad distributions matter. I want to see what PK does this game because he didn't have such a great game last game. I want to see if that.
He's all fetch, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a couple fetch. He's definitely been getting the smallest squads on the team, so I would say probably like him is like the most junior player, and then maybe Homer or Browning after that. For them, it's probably Zach is the most junior,
Flag
and
contested.
then maybe
Yeah.
Captain after that, maybe.
Yeah, August got pretty good position mid, but we'll see if it matters. It is
Ooh.
a pretty tough map with all the artillery that can easily change.
I don't like what Browning is doing. He's got to find a way. Like, I know he's got to stay away from the fetch. Oh, Ghengis Khan got good engagement there. Really good engagement. Oh, he's down to Tro.
Yeah, really
but,
good.
but hang on, he's got 2 of their Tro orange. He's up in health for sure. That's a good engagement.
And he's getting another good engagement. Oh,
yeah, that was a really good engagement.
Flag.
We're way up on Tro health.
Oh, yeah. No, he won that fight big.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Fed should just be shooting the low trail at this point. Okay, there they go.
Okay, I really hate how we let these Zerks come in behind
Oh,
us.
they're
And
flanking you from the backside.
Yeah, nobody defended those Zerks very well.
Captured.
Yeah, those Zerks got. Oh, now they're getting a lot of melee kills off of it too. Yeah, the defense.
We
is
need
not
a
great.
more. See the Zerks that
Still a
flanked.
close game though.
It's still close. The Zerks killed that mort that was on that crucial high ground, the west flank of our fetch. Homer's getting his mort back in that position. Oh no, he's shooting too close to the fetch. Oh my god. You have to get morts on either side of the flanks of the fetch. And our mort guys are just not getting in the fight right now.
Yeah, Brownie's struggling big
Oh.
time this game. He needs to be doing something different. Actually, I don't know. Maybe Eastwood needs to shift a little east and let Browning just have that spot. I'm not sure.
Man, yeah, we're already like, we're up in Tro health, but down in the Artie fight, and that almost, oh my god. Is that Brownie just suicided a mort into the tree?
It was. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say a big thing that we're noticing from this game is how big of a difference voice is, because on voice, Eastwood and Brownie are 1,000% to be involved, but I guess since it's such an artillery heavy map, they don't want to take the time to stop typing because they're afraid they would die, you know, for something.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think Ghengis did a great job showing this, but
I mean, you still have a chance just because you have that trial health advantage, even though the percents look pretty big. But how many times? Oh, there's still 6 minutes. That's a lot of time, unfortunately.
we got to be pushing for control of that freaking hill where the flag is on. Like, if you get some morts set up on that hill, that's pretty key. Because then you push them all the way into that choke, and then you have control of the whole hill. I'm really surprised. Like, we're kind of short on melee, which is the problem. But the thing is, we have Tro health, and I would actually be expending my Zerks and Mauls right now just to get that flag position.
Especially right now, look where Shaister's tower. He pulls two like super far away. This is a time you could easily push for that mid flag, and they really couldn't stop it. I mean, your souls are pushing for it, but still.
Flag
Yeah, I don't know.
contested.
Like our arty guys with the melee are just not pushing for that damn hill. They really. Oh my god, we just killed ourselves again.
Flag
Oh,
lost.
That was
yeah,
Browning
there's
again.
been a lot of suicides.
Oh my god. I hope he hands a mort off to Homer. Okay, he did. Yeah, this is some really sloppy arty fighting by us here. But again, we actually should have melee rushed this to get full control of this hill. That's what we really should have done.
I agree. Yeah.
The tro health, our tro is enough to defend against all their melee all on their own. In fact, it almost baits their melee to push into a tro arty advantage for us, which is good. We lose another fetch. Man, this is really sloppy. The morts don't seem to understand, like, Paris, where Paris is at right now, that's where Homer his mort needs to be. Or Homer's mort needs to take that middle hill. One of the two. Like,
Yeah,
the morts and fetch on our side just seem to be, like, kind of really confused about where they should be positioned. Yeah, I'm disappointed I didn't call for a melee rush to get control of that freaking middle hill.
Flag lost. Flag captured.
You guys are playing for the end game right now.
I don't know if the end... I mean, yeah, it does maybe favor us because we got Tro health, but...
I mean, that was your call on chat, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, I see that. Oh,
well,
crucial mort shot. Wow. That was, I think, Sam that got Paris's fetch. Yeah. And... Browning actually should have died there. He got lucky. I think I realized we've totally lost the arty fight. Our only chance is to win in a melee fight at the end. I have to find a way to get my souls onto their tro, ideally. Yeah, Ghengis really, he did his freaking job as trower. It's frustrating when you're the trower and you win the tro fight for your team, but you still end up losing the game.
Yeah. Yeah, they've just been fighting for mid, and you guys are all clumped in a spot where it's harder to navigate.
Yeah, it's really sloppy. I think I made a mistake in putting myself on the souls here. That's probably the most that's probably where my mistake was. That's probably almost the most junior thing to do is the souls. I should have taken probably a mort squad. Because the mort squad on this has the most difficult time with positioning. They have to know exactly where their positioning should be, which is to find high ground on either flank of your fetch.
Flag lost.
And I'm just... Homer actually had the position good in the very beginning, but then he got freaking pinched by Zerx from behind, and then Paris, the fetcher, really should have turned around to defend that, and Paris just didn't see it, I guess.
Flag captured.
Yeah, this is a map where the souls don't really need a macro at all. You know, it's just all throwing spears, so I agree.
One minute remaining.
The one thing I don't like the NC's in right now is all three of their morts are pretty much in the same spot. They should be in 3 different positions so the fetch can't really block them.
Well, to be fair, 2 of them are on the main hill on the flag, which I do think is the correct spot for them. And the other one's just trying to hold that flank. I think their mort's actually... The position's mostly okay.
30 seconds remaining.
I'm really surprised we're not rushing in yet. Probably should have been there. Ghengis is going to try and use the flag to block their souls. This is a pretty okay.
You guys haven't taken a big artillery shot yet, which is good.
Yeah, it's Ghengis.
Yeah,
Ghengis gotta start kicking.
Pretty good.
Oh no,
Oh, he's gonna get trapped, isn't it?
Yeah, this is. No.
Oh,
There was. Oh, I think Genghis' throwing could have been a little bit better there at the end, but he also had no arty help whatsoever.
I know your fetch really needed to be pushing there. Like he ended up 9-1 Zerg, but even if he died to that Zerg, you got a shut off through that belief fight. Like that might have been the difference, to be honest. Instead of just trying to run from the one Zerg. Yeah,
super close.
That fetch could have been the difference.
Team eliminated.
To be honest.
Genghis had a big game. You know, it's hard to nitpick.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
he probably could have got a few kicks off that might have won it, but like he already did enough. Like it really was up to other people to just step up their game. PK, yeah, PK putting in some low numbers again. I'm wondering if that's going to keep up the rest of the match.
That was with fetch too this time. Holy
yeah,
crap.
he had 2 fetch. Limp and Ska had the souls, so that I think that makes sense somewhat. Paris had fetch. Eastwind had fetch
Captain
too.
in August had fetch. Zach, wow, Zach had a big game for his unit set.
What do you have?
I think it was just on souls, I think.
No, I think it was Ska and Limp on souls.
I know, maybe. I know Zach by the end game at least had some souls.
Okay.
Maybe he didn't originally have any.
Maybe. Look at Captain. He had put up the biggest numbers for his team with the fetch. It doesn't surprise me at all. Captain's like, man. I mean, he's a really, really good fetcher. Like in my book, Tiri is the best fetcher of all time, but like Captain, man, dude, he's somewhere up there, dude. Like he's really fucking good with fetch.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you guys just got out artillery fight. That's all it is.
Yeah, Shaister with the Tro. Yeah, I mean, Ghengis against Shaister with the Troing went about as well as I thought it would have for Shaister. Like, Ghengis was definitely the better Trower there. You could see it. Sam had a phenomenal game. He had Morts. And he put up some huge numbers there. So, yeah. And I think he kept his Morts, both of them alive at the very end, too. All right, we'll go to the next one. So we're down 0-2.
You guys are down 0-2. Elimination every other game.
Yeah,
for you guys.
Oh shit! Fucking
plug from the tournament too.
Plug in not
found. Oh, you don't got it?
Yeah, hang on.
Let's see.
Hopefully it's on the Tane.
It's on there, but it's not called A Day at the Beach. It's a map pack. Let me find it.
I guess when I said I had them all, I was looking at the wrong match. Yeah. Oh, Whirlwind V1. Shit. You might have to send that one to me. It's not on the Tane.
Okay. Let me find the link.
I gotta load up this other one while you're finding it anyway, so.
Modus operandi, or whatever is the name of the map pack you're looking for.
Okay, I got it. The one I'm missing is Whirlwind version 1.
Okay, let me grab that.
Yeah, this was the Day at the Beach game that I remember. Yeah, that's what the map is called. Okay, I got that right.
Ah, shiz. I can't just upload it straight to Discord. Actually, I think the Bagarada I don't think has a limit on the size of upload. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna delete it after.
If you can zip it, if you need to zip it, you can zip it too.
I tagged you in the Bagarada Discord where it's at. It's not there yet. It's still uploading, but it'll be there in a second.
Okay.
There it is, now uploaded. I think it's a little late now, but ideally it would have been great if every time that one of these maps was updated, that when you downloaded the new version of it, it came with the old version as well. I mean, the downloads would be bigger, sure, but then you wouldn't be having to search for all these plugins in the future to see a film.
Yeah, it's not like the download size matters that much anyway. So, all right, I've loaded up Day at the Beach. I got them both, by the way. I'm good.
All right, I'm good.
All right, yeah. So we're down. We're down 0-2. Okay, I wanna point out that you can see Kirk starting, or not Kirk, Limp, Freudian slip there. Limp starting to talk shit in the chat. Oh, and he mentions Kirk. Can we tell GKG is nothing without Kirk? Oh gosh.
They're feeling confident right now. They're trying to get people to crack.
This is why I always tell people, I never ever is like freaking, this is like a religious rule for me. I never fucking say shit until the fucking match is done, and never ever.
I think this map is pretty interesting, actually. I'm surprised it has not been played at all since this game.
Yeah, I agree.
I met Zero PT.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Oh, my bad. I accidentally paused the game. So I really felt confident, super confident going into this game. So I wasn't like, I mean, sure, I'm sure I wasn't feeling great about being down 0-2, but like I wasn't really panicking fully anyway, because like this was probably I think the strongest game for us was this map in particular. Like I felt so good about winning this one because I felt very confident that they were going to try and get archers, and it's freaking CTF and it's a tro map. Like this is like the worst combination to like try and get archers on, especially with all these trees and shit. I remember analyzing the hell out of this map, and I was like, look at all these trees middle that I can use to block the archers from hitting our tro. Gives the tro tons of spots to hide, and like if you pin them to their flag, they're gonna get slut rushed down anyway. You know what I mean? So that's we're probably our strat here is I'm at 11:59 by the way. Our strat here is to I think do a wide 3-prong and basically just try to pin them to their flag. This I think is like early days of like thinking about pinning teams to their flags. I don't think this was really, people are gonna laugh at me for saying this because they're gonna say, no, we knew how to play CTF for 15 years, but I really don't think people thought through like the whole idea of like, how do we we don't actually need to BC fight them at all. What we can do is just maneuver around them and just actually pin them to their flag before any fighting takes place. Like there's certain maps where you can, that's the way you should think. You can think that way. In fact, that's probably the ideal way to think. And this is definitely one of them because here you got CTF on a small map with very strong melee unit sets. On a map where the only arty is locks, archers, and normal. Actually, that is a Dwarven Pathfinder. There is Dwarven Pathfinders. So I don't know how much like a Dwarf hero it is. I would assume it's very much like a Dwarf hero, but the bottom line is those archers. There's so many trees to block all these archers, so it just makes it really hard for them to defend against that tro. And if you get pinned to your flag on this and you got too much arty like they have right now, they're gonna get screwed. Like they basically said, what they basically decided with their trade was like warriors are too weak, therefore we should get locks and archers instead. I think the locks, you know, if they had gotten just locks and no archers, I think they would have been maybe mostly okay. And in fact, if I had to look at this again today, I'm not sure that I actually got the best trade, to be honest. But warriors, you can't count them out because they're still pretty good fodder. You know, I kind of look at them as like the fast thrall on this map compared to the other melee units. The warriors are still very useful to cover up for both the Zerks and the Tro in a melee fight. So you can't count them out, you know. So there is
The
plus on
Pathfinders
this.
are actually really good here.
Yeah, I would assume they're very similar to Dwarf Heroes.
Well, they're the ones that were used in the finals map, on the general map.
Are they the same? Okay. Oh, so they're fast.
Yeah, so
Okay,
they
interesting.
don't do it, and they're fast. The big thing is they're fast, right?
Interesting,
To actually
okay.
keep up with the warriors.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That's how they're probably the same Pathfinder unit from the co-op single player campaign, and that's how they were there, right? I think that's probably where that comes from.
Yep.
There is pus on this, but you know, you have to give up heals for the Tro to do that. So, the 3 whites, are they default? They might be default because we both got 3 whites. We'll see. I'm not sure. I'd be surprised.
There are more balls in the castle too.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know if any team uses them, but I'm seeing tons of them.
Yeah, you have to go all the way up the wall to grab them.
There's some on the ground too, for each team actually. Actually, no, only the west gets. Oh no, there's more balls on the ground.
Where?
In the fort near the door for each team.
The west and east.
The side doors, right by the barrels.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
In the fort.
Yeah. I see 2 on the west side. Oh yeah, I see 2 on the east side. Yeah. You're right. I wonder if those blow up without being ignited too.
Oh man, that'd be dirty.
Yeah.
Possibly,
yeah.
though.
All right, you ready to start it?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Got Ghengis Khan Tro again.
The only thing I'm not liking that wasn't mentioned is they got Sam on like a very small role this game after he just had a massive game.
You know, people need to realize that like when your players are performing really well or really weakly, or not well, I should say, you have to adjust in the middle of a match for that. You really do. If I see a player underperforming, I'm gonna start giving them even smaller roles. It doesn't matter what I planned for before the match started. I will adjust in real time. You have to, because everybody performs a little different on any given day. You know what I mean? And you need to account for that in, you know, the real, real how the match is playing out in real time. So.
Your team does have a flank fort side. They don't. They just have scouts down there.
Yeah, our plan here is to really spread them out. We expect to have more melee within them, especially once we see that they have archers. I say they got arcs. That's good. Yeah, so we're gonna we put all our fast Zerks, not most, half of them I guess or so, on the far flanks, really trying to spread them out and just find pressure. The way you pin them to their flag on this is you just find the opening, and in this case it looks like that's south, which is that's my squad and Homer. We got the Zerks in the south. We really want to just let the flanks get around, especially that south. I don't know why this east. I hate what my north is doing right now. They're getting caught up on their like one lock. They need to go around it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're in trouble right now based on looking at the south. I'm not sure why they all the artillery and they didn't send a Pathfinder to clog that hole. If they're going archers mid and want to like slow push you to their flag, like they should have clogged that hole for sure with the Pathfinder.
Yeah, you're gonna start seeing them get pinned right now. Now they're gonna have to start retreating. Already their flag is under threat. They cannot advance. They can't advance forward anymore. They have to do a full retreat now.
Yeah, they lose the game if they try to.
Okay, you got Ska. Ska he thinks that he can peel off enough Zerks. That's what he's doing right now. Ska is peeling off enough Zerks to try and shadow that south. God, I hate what my north is doing. PK just does not know what he needs to do. It's making my eyes bleed, dude. He has to go around it. He's like getting held up by it. He should be no slower than what Homer's doing right now, and GK and myself.
Oh, in the south? Where is he?
PK's in the north.
Where is he at, PK?
But you see how much further behind he is than our south? Like, there's no reason for it. He's sitting there, like, getting stalled up on a single lock. He could rush that lock. He's, like, so afraid of the lock. And then he's using Zerks to block. Like, use a warrior. Pains me to see
has no
it.
mana. That should be an easy put.
They dedicated one of their dwarfs to getting on
Oh,
the
they
cliff on the
stopped pushing.
castle.
They're retreating. Your north is lost. What are they doing?
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. They don't know what they're doing at all. I'm really surprised. I think this is a bad play by Limp.
Super rushable though.
Limp puts a dwarf hero on the castle. That dwarf hero is now out of the fight. They're in a terrible position right now.
Do you guys rush mid right now?
Probably. We're about to, I think.
It looks like it just died.
Oh my god, that north is just killing me. Okay.
Yeah, you guys on their flag almost need to back up at this point since north didn't follow.
Yeah, I think we're okay. I got a good pass off. I'm taking that melee engagement. I got a good block on their lock.
Contested.
Yeah, this is a good engagement for us here. That lock does have one shot
Your
left.
mid's fighting out too. Your mid's fighting and they're wrecking the other team.
Okay, now I'm getting a little surrounded there.
Oh, kill the J-Man.
Oh!
I think it's the kick that, yeah.
Oh, are they gonna get that lock shot on us? Nope, not really. Okay, now both their locks are down, pretty much. Yep, there it is. Nice. Ooh. Oh, could have been a better puss, but that was Browning's puss. Could have been a little bit better.
Their J-Man's dead, by the way.
Okay.
Flag
Yeah.
contested.
Our mid, those warriors in Zerk's mid should have rushed sooner, probably. They should have gone in before the tro. This is a really sloppy rush by us, honestly. This could have been way cleaner. Oh, they locked themselves. Oh my god, August locks the shit out of his own Zerks. Man, they were going to hold until that happened.
He's got too many units. He has every unit on defense.
Oh
right
my
now.
god, yeah, he's got Zerks. That's a terrible squad. He's got locks, arcs, and Zerks.
Zerks, archers, and a lock. Well, this is pretty much game over.
Yeah, it is. But that was really sloppy. It should have been such a cleaner win, honestly. That was a really bad puss by me. Throwing at the Pathfinder there.
Flag captured.
I'm saying thank fucking God in chat because I realized how sloppy that rush was. I was like, what the fuck? But we still pulled it out. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, that was way more painful than it should have been. There's a way cleaner way of winning that game. They basically handed it to us on a silver platter, and it was still really rough. Ghengis putting up great numbers, as usual again. I mean... Yeah, I always say, like, 2011 Ghengis was, like, the first year he got 5 balls and, like, had a phenomenal performance that year, and it looks like he's doing it again this year, too. I just kept handing him the tro. I've never been so satisfied with another player troing as I have been with Ghengis, so, yeah, he's...
Back-to-back tro maps, that's interesting.
Wow, yeah, that's
a ton
right.
of tro maps. This is a third tro map in 4 games.
Oh, wow. I'm still looking at this last one here. So, Shaister... Okay, Shaister had the tro, though. He had some big numbers, but he had the tro. Paris had a good match. I think Homer had a pretty good match. PK on the struggle bus every single game for the first 3 games here. Not happy with his performance at all so far. Who else was him in the north? That was Browning with him in the north. Man, that north, painful. So scared of a single lock. They had like 3 times the melee, and they're so scared of a single lock. It just drives me crazy. Not to mention they want to face off against it in a choke instead of like trying to flank it. Sam has been like their best player, but they just did not give him the units like to do anything that game. So August with the epic. I mean, I don't think that lock shot was gonna matter in the end, but man, that was a terrible lock shot at the end. And then Limp, I think Limp flanking that that Pathfinder when their flag was clearly under threat, like they were clearly under massive pressure on their flag. He goes and flanks the Pathfinder on the. I gotta say that was a bad call on Limp. That was a really bad call for Limp. That was not the decision to make there. Like I see what he was trying to do. He thought he was gonna like sneak some shots from the south, like from the high ground with some epic range, but like you're really like kind of hoping and praying for that to work out at that point. It's pretty easy for the opponent to just back out of range for it. So, all right.
Yeah, that game was just mostly decided on strat, to be honest.
On
Like
trade,
their best
yeah.
chance might have been to just turtle up and try to play the die, to be honest, at that point.
Yeah, I said at the beginning I wasn't sure if I'd still make that same trade today. I think now thinking about it again, I think there's a case to be made for keeping the Pathfinders, honestly. Besides that, though, I definitely would get rid of all the locks and the archers. The locks, I didn't realize that those were Pathfinders when I said like locks might be okay. With the Pathfinders, those being Pathfinders rather than regular dwarfs, that just nerfs the locks even more, right? The Pathfinders are going to block those locks all day. Yeah, I think actually the best trade on this would actually be to keep the two Pathfinders, but still I would go Heavy Warriors. I still think Heavy Warriors there is the play to make for CTF anyway. CTF and probably Flag Rally and King of the Map, honestly. Probably all those would be traded the same. All right, loading up Whirlwind now.
Pretty different trades for both teams.
I'm guessing I went no. Oh,
your guys' trade surprises me.
That surprises me a lot. Yeah, I would not do this today. I'm almost positive I wouldn't do this today. That's a big surprise.
I mean, their trade surprised me too. I thought they'd get way more morts.
Yeah,
they got one more.
Yeah,
it's a little surprising from NC.
I don't know why they keep giving Shaister Tro, honestly. He's been outclassed by Ghengis every single time. We're kind of lucky, honestly, that this match had 3 Tro maps in it. Like, maybe that's the only reason why we could pull off the reverse sweep like that. Because, I mean, Ghengis has been outclassing Shaister with the Tro hard. Like, did they not know Sam was a good Troer back then? I guess not, I don't know. Sam's first teamed with them in 2010, I think. Sam had been teaming with them for a while.
Yeah, I guess Karma traveled from that year. I don't know. Did Sam ever travel for NC? I'm wondering now. I don't know if he did. That's weird.
2013 he trowed for the agents, I think.
For Limp.
Yeah. That was the closest, I think.
That might have been the first theory.
Yeah. Oops, sorry, I was going slow in the PT here. Hang on. So, all right. So they got only one more August. What is with their squads, dude? It doesn't make any sense to me. They got look at August's squad. It's like crazy what they're doing. They did it to him last game too.
August is heavy. August is giving like the heaviest percentages for NC, which is really surprising to me.
Yeah, super surprising to me too.
Shaister,
they must have thought very highly of him.
Limp.
We famously had August on our team in the first 2 matches of the QR in 2013.
The next year.
Yep, the very next year after this. And he is the only... Well, no. There's maybe been like 2 players 2 or 3 that I've kind of had to remove from my team. I think he quit, though. Didn't he quit? I can't remember.
I think so.
He quit and he was about to be let go at the same time anyway, right? Like yeah. He did not work out well for us in 2013. I was not impressed. You know, he made a lot of mistakes, and whenever his mistakes were pointed out, he had a lot of excuses in defense of said mistakes. Really didn't want to admit to anything, so it wasn't really conducive to the mindset that we typically have, at least on my teams. So, all right, Cruniac shows up. Holy shit! I didn't think he was gonna be here the whole match.
Oh, it's Cruniac in this match?
Yeah, Vicky is
Okay.
Cruniac now. So we got Cruniac.
PK
It
gets
is.
benched.
It's 8v. Oh, are we playing 8v? Oh no, it's 7v7. PK got benched. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
rightfully so. PK's been having a terrible match, so it's 7v7. Okay, yep, this makes sense. All right, you ready to start it?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Game on.
I'm interested to see how NC plays this because they got the more melee heavy trade, so I want to see them actually be aggressive with it. Like, I figure that's why they got the trade.
Yeah, they had. I actually think they got the better trade, to be honest. I don't know why I traded this like this. This just goes to show you, like,
Only if they played aggressive though.
right? They definitely need to play it right, which it's definitely an open question for them because that's not
Flag
really their forte.
captured.
They're not really used to playing that way. So, and also Ghengis is just a much better thrower,
captured.
and he might be able to make up the melee difference
Flag
just by
captured.
superior throwing alone, right? So. Yeah, I like to do the gut checks middle on this because if you're not
Flag
really
captured.
watching for it, it can sneak that mid tag. It can happen. Ghengis needs some melee with his tro though. Did I not give him enough melee? Okay, so let's
Flag
slow.
captured.
Yeah.
Flag.
Okay, well, he at
captured.
least got them to pull back towards their middle to slow them down a bit. So, and now their tro are going to run into our souls in the south. So I like that.
Their souls are in the perfect spot right now for what's happening. Is Shaister not paying attention? He's about to take soul spears.
He's going for the flag tag. I see what he's doing. He's
not
okay.
worth it.
He's trying to get that flag tag. I'm actually surprised
Oh,
our guys, Browning, are just going to give it to him?
They
Why are they
shouldn't
just
give
giving
it.
it?
They shouldn't give it.
They should not give that to him. I can't believe they give
I
that to
think
him.
Captured.
Shaister should be punished big time for this move, in my opinion.
I agree. I'm really disappointed in our South not defending that. Browning and Cruniac should have done as much damage as they could to those tro. But now Shaister is in this awkward position where he's trying to do the whole. This is what I keep harping on weak throwers when they try to go in the backfield like this. This is a terrible move by Shaister. He got the tag that he shouldn't have gotten, fine, but now he's stuck and trapped in the backfield, and it's just a matter of time.
You
Like,
can't do anything.
he
can't do anything the rest of the game.
Yeah, he can't do anything. He's probably going to take a bunch of damage. And now I think our move for us is to basically just hold and just try to wait to trap his tro.
Yeah, there's 9 minutes still. And Ghengis does save that flag. Yeah, Ghengis hopefully should use his third trowel and trap these other trowel right now. I feel like you let that one go and trap Shaister, right? Those two trowel.
He doesn't need to use the tro. He could just use a melee pack.
Yeah, just the melee, I guess. Okay, Browning and Kim.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
The,
I don't like that our Solars are not following those tro, by the way. One of the soul packs should have been following those tro.
Where is Cruniac? Oh gosh, Cruniac's in a bad spot.
His positioning, Cruniac's positioning has been bad this game. Okay, Shaister is trying to. He successfully linked up with his melee again, so that's good for him.
Yeah, that is good.
He's probably his northwest tro though is still kind of
flag captured.
His south one.
Ooh, he's starting to take hits. See, he's all over the place right
now. Even if it, I would like to see. Yeah,
he's trying to control in two different places.
I think he could have got a few more punches.
Yeah, I agree. His north tro is in a little bit of trouble. And he's probably not going to be able to micro
North
it.
Trail should be detached.
He should have detached it, absolutely.
should just
Okay,
take
Scott
that.
took it. Scott took it.
East Wind has all that money. Okay.
Scott took
Oh,
the
I'm
trail.
talking about Ghengis. East Wind should take that
Oh, yeah.
trail from Ghengis in the north.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Scott's doing a good job getting out of it.
Ooh, big mort shop potentially. Yeah, big mort shop around
pretty
in
good
the
shot.
south.
They have way more melee still though.
And the souls are coming to support. The souls are.
Oh, his drawer exposed. Oh, that's a huge mistake by Shaister. Huge mistake. I see him do this all the time with his tro. He always puts his tro in front of the melee. He doesn't understand that you have to put the melee in front of the tro.
Yeah, I could tell Cruniac is not anywhere close to what Cruniac became at this point.
Yeah, he was. This is his weakest
very
year.
slow.
Yeah, this is his weakest year. Yeah. Yeah, you got to remember he just freshly transitioned. Yeah. He just transitioned from WW2 this year. This is his first year of reg in a top setting, so it's like literally his rookie year right here.
You guys can trap their north trail. Okay, he did hand off, or you handed off that trail to Eastwind eventually, so Eastwind has the north trail.
Yep, I see that.
Yeah, Shaister's just slowly losing his trail by being in the backfield, taking punches whenever the pathing doesn't work out.
Yep. I mean, they are up in flags and slightly percentage, but they're down in tro health for sure. We need to link up. We need to link up by Morts with the Genghis' tro to help him with that arty. Yeah, Cruniac does not know how to use souls at this point. I mean, he's getting some hits right now, which is nice, but
Ghengis needs to make sure he clicks this well. It's fine. Take one.
I wonder why Ghengis went that way. Instead, I would have liked to see Ghengis go back to the flag where my mort is at.
That yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see. You gotta link up the tro with the mort. That's pretty important right now.
Ghengis should take a fight. Oh.
Okay, Eastwind does have a tro.
Actually.
We have no souls on that other tro mid. Like we had 2 soul packs, and they have 1 soul pack on our mid, and neither of our soul packs is mid. Like I really hate what my solars are doing. What is Homer doing? Why is he over there? Oh, it kills me, man. It kills me. Like we need solars middle.
You guys have a ton of defense on that north flag.
Yeah, there's only 1 Zerk up there. He's out of the fight.
5 minutes remaining.
We're down 20%. This is actually kind of wild. We're kind of like down. And if we lose the game, the match. The match in the tourney, rather.
Good melee fight. Eastwind's got a good melee fight going, man, though. He won that war.
That was a really crucial win right there.
Oh, it's you there, too. You and Eastwind.
Okay.
They rush him in. So they're probably going to get V.
Ooh, good more defense. Maybe? Good more defense. One more down. This is a good melee engagement for us. Pretty decent. That tro's got to get kicking though. Tro's got to get kicking, Eastwind. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's walking around right now. You guys still might defend it. Holy crap.
Oh. Oh my god. Wow. This is super close. Oh, now the percentages are totally evened up, and we have a huge tro health advantage. Now, all we need to do is cover up the tro with some melee. We need to spend all our melee, our small melee, to run down their melee pack there. They can force that melee to
So you guys don't have their mid flag, their home flag, and southeast, but you're about to get southeast. It looks like right now. I mean, you should, unless the Browning butchers the play.
Oh, Eastwind's tro is not kicking. Okay, there, you got it, yeah. Okay, I mean, we got 3 minutes to get tags. We've, like, clearly won the BC fight at this point, but we need to get tags now.
Shaister traded a trout. He ended up winning with the red health trout, but I don't like that trade.
They're down
Should have
even.
made. I don't know.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I think Genghis literally did that to bait him to take that fight. He wanted him to take that fight, and I agree with him. That's what I would have done as well. I just realized that they have a
Are you guys
stoned
doing one right now?
throw.
Look at one. You guys just gave up
Flag
free
captured.
tag med.
Oh
Victory
shit.
imminent.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why though. We have no other melee. But like Homer and Paris, like what the hell? Yeah, this is kind
I
of
mean,
wild here.
it was a red trail though. The Soul could have just like killed it. They could have stabbed it if they wanted to.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we should have wait. Like Cruniac souls were right there. He could have defended that flag. You're right.
You're yelling at it right now. Croon, help him kill Trail.
Yeah. This is really great throwing by Ghengis and Eastwind here.
Yeah, that's game, I guess.
That was way closer than it should have been.
Flag
Ooh,
captured.
that was
Wait.
a wild game.
Okay, there it is. Yeah. Wow. Eastwind did have a big
Eastwind
game.
had a big game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried really well with Genghis together. Both of them did.
I think Eastwind,
I mean,
Ghengis,
look
and
at
I
their
kind of carried
numbers.
that game.
Their trow. I mean, I know Shaister gave one to Ska, right, at some point.
Yeah.
So combined, they have like 160ish damage. To your guys' trow had 400, more than double their damage.
Right. Yeah. I
in
mean,
drow department.
the disparity in the throwing is huge for sure. Very evident. Yeah. I mean, isn't this typical Cruniac? Typical Cruniac, especially early. I won't say late Cruniac, but early Cruniac gets the fucking ratios right, but still was fucking up the whole time while he was getting the ratios right. Like,
He probably had like a 6.0 damage ratio that game, but
that's how he played though.
If you didn't watch the match, you think you might be the MVP that game.
Yeah. Yep. His positioning was off the whole fucking game. But still got good damage ratios. Typical Cruniac. All right. Yeah. I mean, I literally don't know. I don't like what Homer did, defending that shit that heavily. Like I would have if I was Homer, I would have split
Paris
that
too.
up.
It was two players. It was two players. That's Paris and Homer both there the whole game.
Yeah. Well, Paris did have some other. Okay, Paris. You see Paris at the very end. He has a Mort and a Zerk, or no, just the Mort, I guess. He was flanking a Mort by itself in the north. I don't know if you see that. I had some melee going for their home. We tagged their home and their mid at the same time. I just realized that. Okay.
Well, the other team abandoned their home flag to consolidate on their mid flag.
Yeah.
But the units never got there.
Yeah.
Since you guys committed to the fight.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen our flag D on 7. Like, I would split that in half. Like, half of that could have stayed there, and the other half should have been on that mid flag. But I mean, it didn't matter in the end. But it could have. It could have. Yeah, like I still think their trade was better. I don't think our Morts really did all that much, to be honest. But just better throwing. That's all I can say. Better throwing.
You guys probably would have been in trouble there if their trow didn't instantly dive in your backfield, to be honest.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It was still a close game.
For sure. We kind of got. I think we kind of got away with murder on this one because the trade was not good. That was a really shitty trade on my part. All right, so now it's tied up 2-2. 2-2, but like we have momentum with us, right? Like they got to be feeling a little down, being that they gave up a 2-0 advantage.
Oh, there has to be at least a few players in their teams that have a ton of nerves now. They're feeling the anxiety of throwing the match after being up 2-0.
Yeah. At least we're getting away from the Tro games, because the Tro games have not been kind to them. That's for damn sure. What do we got here? Territories favors them because, it's more just a BC fight. They're not going to... Although I fucked up the trade a lot. I mean, we kind of both fucked up one trade each. So, I mean, I can't even really say that I out-traded them this match. Because they fucked up the trade on Day at the Beach. I fucked up the trade on Whirlwind. but we still won Whirlwind, luckily. Got away with murder on that one. Got away with murder.
I'm expecting this to be a close game. I think it favors their type of players with the unit sets. I'm guessing it's going to be like a close game.
It favors them a little bit, but already looking at the trades, I much prefer my trade. They go way too heavy dwarfs. Way too heavy on the dwarfs.
Especially on territories.
Another big change on this would have been that we would max goals today on this all day, every day. The fact that I didn't max goals, 3 dwarfs on this is actually a little heavy for me today too. Like probably I'd go 2 max maybe on this.
I don't think you maxed Stiggins. You didn't.
Did I not max Stiggs?
Oh, they did. You guys didn't.
I'm 12. Or am I short?
Unless they're in a weird spot. Yeah, you're missing like
7,
2.
9, 3. I'm missing 3. Huh. That is surprising that that's a little too heavy on the archers probably, to be honest, and dwarfs. I definitely should have maxed, because the thing you got to be careful of on territories, even though it's quote-unquote BC, is you still do need to be careful of getting the timer run out on you, right? Like if someone tried to do like a max melee trade on this, like even Thrall, like I've seen people do it too. Like they'll do, it's been tried before, like a heavy Thrall, no RD trade on this, and they'll sink the Thrall, and they'll run the timer out, you know?
That's what I would probably do. Something similar to that at least. I'm looking at the waters in decent spots near flags to play the late game.
Yeah. I like to use the like, as long as you got some good spots, you can sink the Thrall. You can use those Thrall to control the crossings and to give you a path to retreat if they try to go after you. Because what they'll inevitably do is try to tee off on you with their RD to get some BC damage before the game runs out at the end. But if you can just cross where your Thrall are at, they won't be able to follow without walking right into a freaking perfect melee pinch, right? So here we go. We got, oh, look at this. Oh man, dude. I just noticed this. This is so painful. How many times have we been harping on people not doing 3 archer squads? And here I am, I'm doing 3 archer squads. Shit.
Nice.
Oh, man. Do as I say, not as I do. This just goes to show you, like, you know, it's early years, even for me. Like, I would not do that today, for sure. Man, they got a lot of fucking dwarfs. Jesus. Max Pus. Did I max Pus? Yes, I did. Okay. Alright, you ready to start it?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
Game on.
Dude, looking at my trade and the distributions, if you had not shown me the teams, I'd been like, oh, this is Rabican, like, 2005. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? This is like NP trade and squad distributions right here.
The game's just evolved. I want people to admit that, dude. The game's evolved. Like, how can you watch old school films and not admit that? Like, you're just being freaking stubborn if you're one of those players.
Yeah.
I will say that terrain on this map is pretty insane for doors. If it wasn't territories, it could be argued at least a little bit. But for territories, you can just run away from them with without getting punished.
Yeah. I do like my trade better overall than theirs, even though it's probably not exactly what I would do today. Definitely is not exactly what I would do today, but I do still like it better having the heavier archers. I mean, it's almost inevitable that they're going to lose the archer fight, and then it's a matter of like, okay, and then they're going to be put in this position. The other reason I love all the archers we got
captured.
That counters all the dwarfs they got. They got really heavy dwarfs. They got
Flag
6 dwarfs.
captured.
That's a really bad matchup against our heavy archers. So
Flag.
Yeah, it is. I feel like the only way for them to get good value with those doors if they did like aggressive pushes
Flag
in certain
lost.
places to set up position on hills and camp those hills.
I'm almost losing an entire warrior
Flag
for no
captured.
reason middle. So they're archers. Obviously looking around the map a lot. Yeah, basically as long as our guys
Flag
pick
captured.
good, even fights and don't get like massively surrounded and out of position somehow, we are looking very favorable. Like, don't get like, as long as we can avoid surrounds, like we need to avoid surround. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be in a position to set up any aggressive surrounds because all their melee guys are tied down with dwarfs. None of their guys are going to want to go in the backfield and try and surround us. You know what I mean? So look at all their melee guys. They're really dwarf guys with melee is what they are. So they're sitting there trying to hold against archers everywhere. I really hope we take the fight to them here soon. We cannot let this stalemate out.
I actually think in the south they could kill you guys if they didn't have those doors with them. If they're just committed to controlling the melee. And the reason I say that is because look at Cruniac. Look at the path he took. He's in no man's land.
Yeah. No, I think that was a bad engagement for them to try and pick. I don't think they were gonna like they had to kill our dwarf. What was it? Eastwind's dwarf had to go down for them to have any success there.
Yeah, they needed to set up their pus before trying that. They had a gold pack south too that wasn't even there yet. Why not wait for the
Good
back
puss,
if they're
good
gonna try
puss,
that
good
move?
puss. Nice. Scheisdorf's probably gonna go down.
Yeah, it was good.
I think we picked up a dud too that we had earlier. Okay, more pus going down. Wow, a lot of pus. Probably would have saved some of that pus. This is a really good engagement for us. We're already winning pretty big in the south, I would say. Their north is set up
So, I
for
don't know if you
failure
noticed,
too.
but
What was
Ska's gold pack has small pus.
Yeah, so seeing a little bit of the early small pus meta maybe. That was a good pus by Eastwind there. Their mid forced to do a full retreat. Captain has all 8 archers and a dwarf. These squads make no sense. Captain has 22%. Oh my god. And he's the only one out of the fight too. Yeah, I
Yeah, they
shifted
pretty
from
much
mid to
gave
south.
themselves in the south.
Yeah, their trade unfortunately was like the worst. I think I almost feel like they went heavy dwarfs thinking that I would go heavy melee. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know why else they would have done it. And then they end up running to my near max archer trade, and then they're just like totally fucked.
I think that's a perfect example. I mean, you talk about how there's not really a rock, paper, scissors in Myth, and I agree. I mean, and I think they tried to rock, paper, scissors you probably by going to heavy door since you go heavy melee. And guess what? That doesn't work because even if you want heavy melee, there's still 12 plus on the map to kill those doors and get a ton of value.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I was thinking the exact same thing, how I usually say about there's no rock, paper, scissors, but like this is an example where like there's no rock, paper, scissors in kind of like before the trade happens, but after the trades are done, like when you're trying to optimize for
Flag
trades, you're trying to optimize for what the best thing to trade and strategize is. You don't. What I mean by there is no rock, paper, scissors, what I mean by that is like you don't try to guess what the opponent is going to do and try to come up with a counter to that. That's what we mean by that.
Flag lost.
Okay, big rush for them in the
just
north.
whatever. Yeah, you guys got a clean pus on their dwarf in the south, so all those archers are rushable now.
Yeah, the game's already done. Like they're down 30% almost. or they are down 30%.
Ghengis had a great game on that dwarf.
Yeah, yeah.
He's lived through like 4+ and done a lot of damage.
It's got 7 kills. Ghengis had a great match. Really big match.
Yeah. I just think Ghengis is like unquestionably top 5 all time. He's just really impressive. Consistently too. He brings it almost every series.
Yeah, can't necessarily argue against that.
5 minutes remaining.
Man,
Flag
well,
captured.
this was not a close
Contested.
game 5 at all.
No.
I was
no.
completely wrong. That was gonna be close.
Flag lost.
So I out-traded them twice, I would say. They out-traded me once. That's enough, you know, that's enough for a 5-game series at least, so. Yeah, I really think
Flag
this,
contested.
you know, going back to the discussion on rock, paper, scissors, again, you never try to guess what the opponent's going to get. But as soon as the trades are done, yes, it's absolutely true that some trades counter others. And this is an example of, like, the quote-unquote rock, paper,
Flag
scissors effect.
lost.
But where I think they made the mistake is, like we were saying, I really do think they were trying to come up with a counter to what they thought I would get. Like, that's the only thing I could possibly guess why they traded the way they did. It doesn't make sense to me otherwise. And yeah, this is a prime example of why you should never do that. Because number one, it's really hard to guess what the opponent's going to do. A good opponent should be somewhat unpredictable in some sense. I mean, I think over the years I've become increasingly more predictable, but I'm predictable maybe, but not. It doesn't really like still give you much of an advantage if you still did the best, most optimal thing, and that's what we mean by no rock, paper, scissors. Like, you could still know what I'm going to do and try to counter it, and you're still not going to come up with a good counter to it. So, Zach rage quit, it looks like.
Flag lost.
I think he did that the year after this too. With I think he was on Agents. I could be wrong about that.
Team NS.
Was he Team S? Okay, never mind. This must have been the.
Yeah, he's the captain for them.
It must have been this year. I was remembering. So yeah, that
Zach
is
isn't
the
a
match.
bad player.
No, I don't.
Zach's not a bad player. Like, in this series, he looked pretty decent. It's unfortunate that he doesn't, you know, like, try to take it a little bit more serious.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly, like 50% of the myth community,
Flag lost.
at least, like there's definitely players who are lost causes in my mind, right? I'm not going to name any names, but I have hope for most of the myth community could improve dramatically if they actually just put their mind to it, honestly. And we could have a lot more 4-baller and 5-baller type players. Just, I really feel like people just, I don't know. They just don't, they want to play the game for 20 plus years, but not, they want to play it more casual instead of just like actually putting a little bit more effort in. So if you're going to spend so much time on an activity, like, I don't know. It's just the competitive side of, to me, that doesn't understand it personally. Like, for me, like, spending that much time on something, I would want to try to be the best I could be at it personally, but I guess not everybody thinks that way. That's fine. I just wish we had more better players, more coachable players too. Yeah, Zach's a good player for sure. Just, it's a mindset thing, and that's how it is for most players. I feel it's like they got the BC skills. I see so many players. They ask me like, a lot of people over the years, they want to like grind 1v1 duels with me, thinking that that's the path to getting to becoming a better player, or not just against me, but against other players, like 1v1 duels. Let me tell you something. That was the thinking, I think, with this game for like the first 10 years at least, maybe even 15 years. That 1v1 duels was the thing that mattered, right? I think TMNT in 2013 is like the year where that mindset really started to shift, where it was like, I mean, because I even remember thinking, I remember even thinking it's myself that year, which was the year right after this year, this match we just watched. I remember thinking like, I'm not 100%. It felt very experimental, like a hypothesis to me. Like I'm not sure if this is gonna work out, but I want to try it and see where it takes us, because I feel like it hasn't really been tried before, and that's honestly, I really feel like that's like honestly where like 90% of like the creative innovations in my thinking about this game have all come from, is I always just look for things that haven't really been tried before. If you're looking for any kind of innovation in anything, I feel like that's like the key to it. It's like, look, there's always blind spots in like the mainstream thinking around anything. There's always blind spots you can see, and I always look for like the things that people haven't really tried. They discounted it too much or whatnot, and you just try it and give it a good honest try, and it has a very high hit rate for me, finding things that turn out to be actually pretty good. TMNT, yeah, like that year was the proof, I feel, and that turned out to be a great dynasty team obviously later on, but that year that was the real proof to me that BC skills are massively overrated, and that includes one-on-one skill, and you know, I come from like a bias towards 1v1 as being a top 1v1 player myself, but I just saw how there was a way to have so much bigger impact on the game in a large two-team setting, other than being some great 1v1 BC clicker. So yeah, for anybody out there who is looking to improve their skill in the game, especially in an MWC setting, which is what most people care about these days, especially since 1v1 tournaments have really dried up. Even I'm not really that interested in 1v1 tournaments anymore, to be honest. No. I think if a 1v1 tournament was hosted today, I probably wouldn't even join it. It just doesn't even interest me. MWC is the only thing that really keeps me coming back. I think that's true for a lot of players, and if anybody's looking to become a better player in MWC, which I would say is like the one true measure of a player in the game, for me anyway, I think for the majority of people, do not be looking to do a bunch of getting better in 1v1 duels. That is not the way to do it. 80% of Myth players, if you're a 3-ball player, you already have enough clicking ability to be a 4-ball player. I'm going to say that again. Every 3-ball player already has the clicking ability to be a 4-ball player. The only thing separating 3 balls from 4 balls is decision-making ability, awareness, making smart plays, things like this, right? I've been talking too much. What do you have to say about that, Asmo?
Yeah, I mean, 3 balls the limit to be a great team player, and you can be rated however high you want with 3-ball BC skills, for sure. We can point out players or...
You're breaking up a little bit. We might have lost you.
Oh, I'm probably back now, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, sorry, there's a storm here right now. You only need to be a 3-ball BC player to be a solid 4-baller Myth if you have the other qualities which can be learned in terms of like thinking, positioning, communication, all those things.
Yeah, positioning, that was the thing I was trying to remember to mention. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, decision-making and positioning. Like, when I say decision-making, like, you could say positioning is decision-making too, but like, I like to kind of separate those two things. Those are the two things. I kind of treat them separately. When I say decision-making, it's more like deciding when to pick your fights, right? Deciding to make big maneuvers. Positioning, like, decision-making to me is like more macro, like the big decisions, and positioning is more like the little minor details usually in like what, like if your positioning is like if you're units are in the wrong position a little bit, that's a positioning issue. If your units are in the wrong position a lot of bit, like they're way off, that's like you like totally missed the decision completely, right? That's kind of how I think about that when I talk about it. And yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and blow smoke up everybody's ass that like, okay, BC skills stop mattering at 3 balls. That's not what I'm saying. Like, yeah, like you're not going to be a 5-baller without the top tier BC skills too. But look at Ghengis, for example. I think Ghengis is a prime example. Ghengis is still a very good 1v1 player, don't get me wrong. But he hasn't really been seen as like the top tier 1v1 player. He's like kind of like just underneath that, right? But he's still top tier as far as large 2-team play. Oh, here, hey, Limp's joined us. Limp, what's up?
How you guys doing?
What's going on, dude? You coming here to talk some shit? Throw some water on some things we said, or what?
Honestly, I only caught like the last like 10 minutes of what you guys were talking about, so I have no idea. I don't remember this match super well, other than I think we got dumpstered pretty hard. Like maybe lost like 4-1, maybe, is that right?
3-2.
Okay, not as bad as I thought.
It was a reverse sweep. That's the only reason why it's kind of noteworthy, because otherwise, like, you think of like a 3-2 match, it's like, who cares, right? But like, it was like, oh, we went down 0-2 and then we had to win the last 3.
I feel like you have a lot of those. I feel like
it feels like that, but I don't think it's like a pure reverse sweep. I think I had a lot where I was down the first 2 games, but like usually it was a 7-game series where like being down 2 games in a 7-game series is not as big of a deal as it is in a 5-game series, right? So
no, I remember looking over matches and stuff versus you over time and just thinking like, man, I won a lot of like the first and second games in matches, and then they would just turn it around, and that happened like almost, regularly. That was like, an appointment viewing that was going to happen. So
it was supposed to happen again this last MWC finals, but Asmo said, no, fuck that shit. I'm winning this shit. And so we went down the first 2 games, but Asmo still finished us. So that was the first one I lost like that, yeah.
Sorry I had to dip out at the last podcast. I was pretty upset about it. My uncle was in town staying with me, and he was supposed to be doing some whole other thing with family and stuff, and he had a senior moment and got like trapped here, and I didn't know he was here, and it was
oh, dude, don't worry about it, man. It was fine.
No,
we were almost done anyway, so it was fine.
I felt bad just because I wanted to have a little bit more commentary on that. I felt
you're here now. Do you remember anything that you wanted to say about it? You can say it now.
I mean, I just wanted to have more of the discussion more than what I wanted to say. I just thought it was I don't want to jump into another match when you guys are doing this one as well. So maybe I'll just.
Well, we can wrap up our commentary about this one real quick. Do you remember? I know you really didn't listen to most of what we just did with the podcast, but like.
I missed it.
Do you have any memories or thoughts about that year or this match or anything? Just to wrap it up before we move on.
At this point, this is what, 2012, right?
Yeah. Bottom bracket finals.
This is a pretty strong downturn in regards to name changers like roster. It looks like, if I'm not mistaken, we have August and Captain playing here, I think.
Yeah.
So that's already pretty, like, weak. And not only weak, I would say it's just kind of, like, out of the ordinary for an NC roster to feature, like, Captain, for instance. Is that Sam or is that Eastwind?
Sam. Eastwind's on our team, so, yeah, that's
Is he the last hetero?
What's that?
Is Eastwind the last hetero?
No, that's Homer. Eastwind is
Homer.
Eric.
Oh, Eric. Okay. Looks like he had a monster game this game. Anyway, yeah, I just remember we lost. I mean, right there's 3 of our strongest players are on your team. From
Shit.
GKG, yourself, Ghengis, and Eastwind are all, NC former players. So we're missing right there. 3 of our strongest players are on the opposing team. Our main strategist and probably like spiritual leader, if you will, at this point, was probably CU Ku, and he's not a part of this roster. So to me, just looking at who's shown up, like we're playing Zach in like major minutes in a final, or I said bottom bracket final, but yeah, I think this is just kind of a bit of a weaker roster from NC is what I remember. This kind of being like, oh, this is who we got. Okay, well, I'll still play, but I think you guys have a very strong roster here. Browning and PK as your 6 and 7 men is pretty strong. I would say it's a pretty huge difference, like even comparatively to your team this year being like Killer King and Spoon, and I think Browning and Professional Killer are probably a lot stronger individual players. Yeah, just looking at it, I don't know if the rosters were the same for the first 4 games, but looking at this, I would say that your guys' roster is definitely way stronger than NC's. But yeah, this is definitely when TMNT, which I'll just refer to as whatever team you're a part of, GKG. I know that you probably have a specific like year gap of what that is, but I would just consider your team's TMNT generally. So this looks like this is when you guys are at the upswing as a TMNT team. This is the downswing of NC. I think this is the last true like name changers team for that matter in 2022. So yeah, I think this is kind of like the end of, you know, that dynasty, if you will, and the start of the next one, which was yours, which continued, you know, up until basically your retirement in 2018 for a couple years. So long stretch of winning with that team. And I think this was year 2 of it. And I think Bulls was 2011 and this South Parkians was 2012. So yeah, you guys are working with a lot of experience at this point. You have like MWC win behind you. And yeah, I would have said that you guys were probably the favorites coming into this. But
I agree. Looking at these rosters, I definitely think our roster is a lot stronger. It almost like we sit here and like, oh, we pulled off the reverse sweep, but like, I don't know, Asmo, looking at this again, it almost feels like it wasn't so much like we pulled off the reverse sweep as like NC kind of got lucky early on in the match.
Well,
like, that game 1, they probably shouldn't have won. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, what was game 2? I can't remember game 2. Oh, it's the Trout game, last minute on the hill.
Yeah, like
so
both those first 2 games were kind of like they kind of squeaked them by. I feel both of them. Like we very easily could have swept NC this match, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like,
game 1's the bigger one, right? You just walked off your last.
Yeah.
If these are the rosters that were playing all the games, I would definitely say that you guys had like a pretty significant.
And 3 Tro maps, which heavily favors our team for sure.
Yeah, so I would say you guys looking at it, just, I mean, this is also like Sam went on to become like a pretty great player. I would say this was at the beginning of him being that player, so he was even pretty weak at this point too. So just I'm like looking at this roster right now and like, damn, how did we win 2 games? Honestly, if this is what we showed with all 7 or all 5.
No, I agree. Like I remember like this being like some epic like comeback. That's how people thought of it, because it was like, oh, reverse sweep. But like looking at it again now, it's like it's not really that impressive. It just kind of happened that way. Like we should have stomped the shit out of this team. The fact that it's even that close is
Yeah.
I will disagree with a couple things. What I was gonna say was something Asmo and I really noticed, Limp. I really feel like NC just had a really bad view of like player skill sets, and like you were just talking now how you felt August and probably Captain were like maybe the 2 weaker players on your team. They gave August, I think, the biggest unit sets along with Shaister the whole match, even though August didn't really have a great match. Like they just kept giving them to him. It's just kind of crazy to me. And then Sam had a great match, but they kept giving him small units, and I'm just like, what is going on here? And Sam's been with NC since 2010. Now, you're going to sit there and say, Sam is like, he wasn't as good back then, but I don't know, dude. I'd have to go back and look at 2010 again, because I feel like Sam probably was good the whole time, and people just didn't recognize it.
Yeah. I recognize him as someone who's been playing with Sam for literally forever, because we were World War II friends first. That being said, I would say even still at this point, Sam was probably considered a greater player than, August or Captain. So that's strange.
He had a solid match, dude. He was like, wait, Asmo, let me ask you. Who's MVP on NC's roster, you think? I'm going to say probably Sam. What do you think?
I mean, Captain and Sam probably had the best series.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, Limp. You were saying Captain put in a great match this match. Zach didn't do too bad either, honestly. So...
Yeah, I mean, but that's... I mean, at that point, are we really going to say that, like... I mean, I guess... At that point in time, 2012, are any of those players like viewed as a greater player than like Shai? Probably not.
I mean, that's the thing about Shai, though. Like this is what I keep saying about Shai. He like they kept handing him Tro the whole match, dude. He's never been a Troer. Like, why are they doing that? It makes no sense.
I think you're misinterpreting something, though. I'm not saying that like Captain or Sam or Zach are like bad players. They're not. I was comparing them like to Browning and Professional Killer at this point, and I would probably take those guys.
PK had a horrible match. He was arguably the weakest player in the entire game.
Browning, I agree.
But anyway, yeah. I mean, you just said it yourself. Looking at rosters and stuff, you probably should have smashed us. Yeah. I feel like that's the case. But I will bring this up, which attaches to the point of what you were just previously talking about. So I was I came to NC relatively late compared to like the rest of kind of like, I guess, the core of the team. This was 2007. I actually did play with them in 2006 for like a couple of weeks. In I think the QR of that MWC 2006. But I was just kind of tired of playing with Raziel at that point.
Shit. I didn't learn that lesson until after 07 and 08. I just learned it 2 years later.
Sure.
After you.
I mean, we were on the same path. We both played with Raziel for many years.
Yeah.
In any event, I just remember playing with them in 2006 in the QR, and there's a bunch of good players on Name Changers, on Iron Chef, whatever you considered them at that point. And like I considered Shaister to be one of the greatest players ever. Ska is one of my oldest friends in the game, and I was like, this would be a cool situation for me to try out someone that's a team that's a little bit more of like relaxed. In 2006, they were too relaxed. They were just playing like seemingly players at random, plugging them into roles that didn't make any sense. So I left them in 2006 and went back to 2006, and went back to Baya. Only again joining them in 2007 once the roster kind of like beefed up a little bit. We got like Donsky and myself and Jeshius and a couple other people, and that finals went similarly where it was do or die situation, and we were summoning people who had like barely played all tournament wrong, and they were playing major roles and stuff. So I would say that's just to my greater point. That was sort of like an almost like systemic abnormality within NC. That's like almost a problem with them, was just like wanting to be so communal in how the games were played that too many players were playing in situations where they shouldn't be, and players were in situations they shouldn't be generally as players. So I think you might have even seen that just from what we just saw, where Captain had like 22% at one point. It's like on a 7-player team, like 22% is crazy usually for anyone to have, let alone Captain on a light like game like that on Quixotism. So yeah, I don't know. I think it just kind of shows some organizational mismanagement on our end.
Well, and I'm just pointing out, I really just feel like that's the theme for NC. I feel like maybe they got away with it some years, didn't get exposed, but I just feel like it was there the whole time. Maybe it didn't get exposed every time, but like I see like the people they're deciding to give certain roles to is really bad in my opinion. Like I used to harp on their trades, but it's not really just the trades. Like it's also the squad distributions, and who they're deciding to give roles to is like I think really poorly done. And it's a pattern that I've noticed with their teams almost every single year. I feel like we were talking about before, for whatever reason, I don't know what it was about 2009, but like all of NC's bad habits seem to not be as prevalent in 2009.
Well, 2009 is a totally different situation. At that point, the main, like the strongest players on that team are all some of the strongest players who've ever played the game. So all of us had a very singular mindset, I think. So there's a lot of like, I don't know if there was much telling going on that tournament. It was just like this team shows up and does what they all do individually. Was I think a big part of it. I mean, as we've talked about in prior casts, that you you guys have spoken about that being one of the strongest rosters probably ever in a finals. So
Yeah.
I think that part of it is like when you have a roster that is just that strong with BC and intelligence, it's like you're gonna kind of coast on some things, I think.
Well, that's my point, though. Kind of is like it doesn't matter how strong your roster is. Like if the squad distributions and role assignments are bad, that's gonna handicap any roster, no matter how great it is.
No, agreed.
There was something about 09. I don't remember having that much influence over Shaister. I know he was mostly calling the shots about all these types of decisions. But it feels like maybe I had more influence than I thought originally, because I feel like I did not see nearly as many bad decisions like that be made that year.
I don't know if you recall, but we had pretty lengthy strategy sessions with quite a few of us showing up. Generally, like me, you, Shy, Scott, Koo was kind of like the people who would show up to strategize. And I mean, it was from what I recall, it was mostly like the conversation was between you and Shy and like hashing that out.
Yeah, there was at least good. I will say this about that year. It's really usually a good positive sign when there is good, healthy debate about strat. Usually that leads to better strategies. At the end of the day, you don't want to strategize by committee, though. That's the one danger of that. You don't want to make compromises. You do need to follow one vision. And in that case, Shy had final authority on things, but he, I don't know. I guess I think probably I still had a moderating influence on some of the thinking going on that year. So
I honestly think that you guys kind of met in the middle there, because at that point it's like, you were clearly our strongest BC player, you know. So, and I felt like you were happy in that role to finally be in a team that was kind of a little bit more I guess organized or professional, as I would put it, if you're moving from BI to NC at that point in time. Maybe a little bit. Maybe not totally, but a little bit.
Oh no, it's an upgrade over a Roz team for sure. I'm not gonna shit on NC that badly. Roz,
I mean, it's still one of the winningest franchises or whatever you want to call it in Myth's history, but I do think most of them, as we've looked back, had significant problems, but I think that that's to be expected when you consider everything about Myth and its small player base, really. You know, we're not working with the best of the best. We're being real. Our player base, once we got super competitive with the game, was probably no greater than 200 or 300 people. So I think it's just a little bit different with what we're working with. But anyway, different point. But just going back to the original discussion, just looking at these teams and everything, and again, missed the first 4 games, but I do recall losing this, and I do remember this being the last true iteration of NC with Ska and Shaister kind of being the main component of the team. But yeah, this was year 2 of you guys trying to win back-to-back and continue on with starting a dynasty at that point, and that's exactly what happened. So I would say that this, when you guys won in 2012, this was probably the start of your dynasty, and I think this match is the start of putting it to bed, because I don't even think we made the finals in 2012. I want to say some Euro team did, right?
No, yeah, this match we just went through eliminated you guys. This is the bottom bracket finals. Yeah.
Exactly. So
it was the NPT Cox team called My Team that was the finalist.
Yeah, My Team. I remember that now. So yeah, I think this was very much a kind of a significant moment in time for your TMNT teams going forward, just in the sense of this is you're eliminating that team that you won your first with and everything, and kind of ending that dynasty. So pretty large moment, and this was definitely the dissolution of NC as it was comprised at that point. So yeah, pretty significant. But from the little bit that I just saw, man, seeing Captain moving all those archers south all slowly and stuff when all this stuff is developed around the map was wow, this just is such a crazy misuse of these units.
Well, the other crazy thing is those archers were originally split between 2 players. I don't know how they all got combined to him at some point, but yeah, there was some obvious Like you see, like we had two guys middle too. Like our middles were like evenly matched up, facing each other for a while. But then I moved south. I was mid. I moved south, and then your guys were just kind of like slow, I guess, to move as well. I guess, and then somehow Captain ended up with all the archers.
Everything I saw develop there was like, I actually remember this game because it was an elimination game 5 on a map that I edited to release. Possibly for this NWC, actually, now that I think about it. Quixotism. Anyway, yeah, I remember this one being particularly disappointing because we got stomped into seeing it right there. It's like, oh, I see why. Like, what a weird misallocation of like what we were doing with those units. Just, yeah, not surprising in retrospect to see it happen like that.
Limp, I want to ask you. It's good that you came here because you're the only person I can ask this.
Okay.
What did you guys do? Do you remember any strategizing going on during this for this match or this tourney in general? Like, Asmo and I were just talking about the last trade that NC did on this particular map. It had like 6 dwarfs, and we're just like, why would anybody trade 6 dwarfs on this on territories? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me unless they thought that I was going to go max melee or some shit like that. That's the only thing I could think of. Do you think that was there any discussions about like, oh, what's GKG gonna do? Let's counter his trade because he likes to do these heavy melee trades from the year before. Was there any adjustment like that made this year?
I don't know if you had that like concept or like if you had that like stereotype, I guess, about G yet, where you just go max melee and that's your thing. I don't know if you like carried that yet, where it was like, yeah, he's just gonna go max melee every single time, so we'll drop by dwarfs to counter it. I really don't know if like it was that well understood at that point, or like if we were trying to counter you. I mean, looking at it for myself now, I mean, a map this like trading for 6 dwarves only works in like really specific instances. If there's a map that has just a ton of points and it just works out that way.
Yeah, like game 1, Tamerlane Flag Rally was a map with 6 dwarfs. That was like probably a good use of 6 dwarfs.
Yeah. So it's pretty rare to have that like actually be a viable thing. It is every now and then, but this is not one. Mostly just because of the fact, in my opinion, that the map is so large. It just seems like it just really makes dwarves weaker because of that. I'm not exactly sure what the correlation is off the top of my head that I can tell you, but I just know that if you have a giant map, usually archers and just artillery in general are just so much weaker because they're slower because you're so limited on how you can respond to things. So it's a huge map. There's water actually in all the main fighting places for the most part, or you're retreating into water. Just looking at it, this is like a 1 to no dwarf trade for me at this point, I would say. I'd have to look at the map in depth and everything. I'm surprised to see so many archers from both teams, but maybe the max melee isn't as much as I would anticipate just looking at it right now.
Yeah, there's not heavy melee to get on it, so
okay.
Yeah, you guys got 8 archers. I think I got like 21 or something like that, but
yeah, so way different. So I mean, just if you have all that many archers and you look at the terrain and everything, like what are dwarves going to do versus a ton of archers here? Nothing, which is probably what happened.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think it was like you and Shy probably stratting for NC this year, or do you remember anything about that?
I think at this point I was mostly like, I mean, I was pretty attached to playing with like Ku because he was such a good strategist. So my involvement in that stuff, I think, waned pretty heavily after his retirement. I don't really remember showing much.
So this is probably a Shaister mostly running the show at this point, then.
I couldn't say with complete certainty, but probably this honestly strikes me as the year where I probably just like showed up in the last couple of matches to play and didn't strategize much. Just wasn't super involved in playing actively at this point, but I would show for the matches. But yeah, I mean, the last time I was probably super involved with strategizing with NC was 09 or 10. Or 09 or 10, one of those two. I was barely around for 11 or 12.
Yeah. I just want to point out that, like, I really feel like this match in particular, and how this happened right before TMNT formed the next year, it's really striking because I almost feel like watching this match, it's like you have Shaister, who, admittedly, like, this is not Shaister's prime anymore, but he's still good and active during this year. Let's see, around either this year or maybe the next year, around this time frame was like when he really dropped off. Like this was he was still around-ish. Not I'm not saying his prime or anything, but it's like it really, the way they gave him Tro, which is admittedly his weakest role as well. It just shows you how people really believed back then, and it was very indicative of the thinking of throughout Myth's history up to that point, that if you were a top tier 1v1 player, you must also be the best player in a large team setting in MWC, and probably also the best with like any set of units. Like that, I think that's how the thinking mostly went for the most part. Like nobody would have thought like, oh, Shaister isn't going to be a top tier thrower because it's a top tier everything else, right? And I don't know. Like they gave Karma Tro though in like 2008. So I don't know. I just don't get it. Like they had Sam. Sam has been known to be a great thrower. Like
yeah, so
I would have thought Sam was established by that point, but
this is what I'm looking at right now, just from the roster that showed up, the 7 players. I'm looking at Ska and Shai, who are like the staple and the core of the team, and then I'm looking at 5 dudes other than them who are like pretty unreliable in terms of like showing up at this point. Like August, Captain, Sam. I mean, you just had him. You know, sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. He's not like totally on board all the time. He's kind of like, you know, he's unreliable in terms of his like actual showing up for important matches sometimes. I don't mean actually his performance, but like physically being there. He just can't sometimes. He has real life stuff going on. And yeah, just looking at it, it's like I'm looking at 2 people who are like probably super prepared and 5 people are showing up. So I think that...
but I still don't see it as an excuse. Like
no, it's not an excuse. I'm just saying I think the reasoning probably was that Shai is reliable. Shai is going to be here. Let's practice him on Trow stuff because we don't know if Sam's even going to be there. And if Sam's not going to be there, then who's going to Trow for us? So I think
I don't know.
I definitely...
To me, it was like I knew Shai was a weak thrower for like 3 or 4 years by this point. I mean, even NC knew it. They were giving Karma the throw way back in 2008. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. You trode for, hell, Limp, I remember we covered the MWC 07 finals. You trode for NC, not even Shai. Yeah. Like, in 07, like...
Yeah, I mean, I was a Trower at that point, too.
So here you are again. Like, I actually would have preferred to even see you on Tro in this match compared to Shai.
I mean, that was an insult for me. It's like we were playing in the Width World Cup in 2007 in the finals, and there's all those, like, really good players in the match. It was, like, me and Zur Trowing, so like, I don't think I got that.
Even if Shai was, like, a bit better than he is with Trow, I still wouldn't put him on it because like he's so much better with all the other squads. You know what I mean? Like there's like
I do know what you mean because like Shaister's like main ability, his like main
the arty fighting with like large squads. Like that's his thing.
His ability to like exactly have large squads, but particularly like his artillery ability is like second to none. And you can have like 8 warriors, a dwarf, and like 4 archers, and like control all of it amazingly. That's
right. Like, yeah, and like Tro is like it's like I swear like there's no bigger example of a player who's like his major kryptonite is fucking Tro. Like it goes against all of his strengths as a player. Like it's like microing a few units instead of a lot of units, which is what he's really great at. And
yeah,
it's just like it doesn't play to his instincts. It's melee instead of arty, and like I don't know. It's just I don't know.
I think it reflects who he is as a person, though, because Shai's a pretty, like, calm, reflective, very, like...
Right, and you don't need that as a thrower. You want aggression as a thrower, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm a shy, honestly, at times person, so I think that reflects that he almost, like... I don't think he ever really, like, wants to throw for that matter, too. I think he's, like, please, someone else who, like, wants to do it, please do it. But, yeah, I think this is the year where it's, like... maybe he wanted to more. Maybe there's a little bit of desperation because our roster is so much different than it had been in like the past couple years. So it's like, well, we can trust Shy with him. I think that's part of the thinking. I couldn't say for certain. I mean, at this point, if I'm just showing and playing, I wouldn't be surprised if they're offering Trout. I'm like, no thanks. I haven't played in 6 weeks or something, So
it just really stood out to me watching this match because, like, the very next year when I formed TMNT, that was like literally the whole idea around TMNT was like, you know what, being a great 1v1 player really just does not translate necessarily to being a great MWC player, right? And
no, it doesn't.
It really just doesn't. It doesn't.
No.
Like, and people should. I think people are starting to learn it now. Like, I think it's taken a long time to get there, but it took a long time. Many years. People kept thinking that being a top 1v1 player meant you were the top MWC player as well, and it just was never really true.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
No, I can.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know if you're talking or not, but
No,
haven't heard.
I have. Yeah, there's a big old storm going here, so my mic wasn't working earlier. Yeah, I mean, I think part of that too is because the tournaments used to have more teams, there was more rounds, and so like those BC players shined in those earlier rounds like big time because like BC does matter in those less organized matches, right?
Yeah.
So they keep on carrying that reputation. Then you go in the big matches, all of a sudden you're on the losing end, but you build up the reputation.
That's such a good point.
To be the dominant player.
Yeah, being a top BC player it's more helpful the less organized the match is. The more organized it is, the less that kind of translates, basically. Yeah, and it gets exposed hard many times.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely true. There's definitely it's not correlation is causation or anything, but like being a strong BC player certainly helps. It's probably not gonna hurt you going into like trying to be good at 2-team Myth and the Myth World Cup circumstance, and like if you're a talented BC player, I think you probably still have a leg up over some.
You have a leg up. I'm not saying like I see what you're saying, but I do. There are players. I'm not going to name any names.
You should.
Okay, I might name some names later, but but like there's some players that like they're too focused on the BC. Like you can just tell with the way they play, they're ratio hunting in large MWC games, and it's literally to the detriment of the outcome of the game. Like absolutely, and that's where BC is taken too far. You know what I mean? Like you're doing the wrong. It's not the time or place for that in this type of setting, right?
Also,
yeah. I don't know. I think BC does matter a ton over time. I mean, it's not like the end all be all. It just depends. Like for instance, like I'm looking at this team right now, players you have like, and there's just a bunch of people who are just super strong at BC, and like that's why they're there. Kind of.
I gotta get Dax input in here. He's yelling at all of us in the chat. So.
Was he?
Yep.
I want to say something before that goes off.
Go
Whatever. So I also think that BC skills are important. I'm not like on the thing that they're not important, but I think players get labeled as BC players, whether it was intentional or not. That people sort of had this feeling like they're just good at killing. They're actually not a smart player. Like there might be other great BC players, but they wouldn't get called a BC player because they were considered a smart player too.
Yeah. That's
so it's almost like a negative label, even for a really long time.
You're right. It becomes a negative label. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it does. But here's the thing: is like I think that being like a BC player is probably like it's like your hall pass, man. It's like it's how you get in. Like people start paying attention to you if you're like if you're starting all of a sudden like at least back then if you were a strong player, that's how you start to get noticed, and people are like, oh, maybe I'll give this dude a shot, and like maybe he can understand like how to play FR within a team frame, and like maybe we can mold this guy to learn the rest of it. But the thing is, some people don't take that and run with it. Some people do. I think the opposite is much more rare to have a player who's kind of like a perennial role player, like all of a sudden just be always like a constant, you know what I mean? Like, or just have a bunch of role players coming out of nowhere to be on the top teams. It's just it's It's much more unusual to have it like the reverse way. It's usually BC players just kind of like figuring out who can actually hang with each other, and then like we fill in the holes with sort of the role players who are smarter, I think. But that doesn't mean you can't be both, and the best players are usually both.
The best players are both. I'm not discounting that, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to have every tool in the toolbox, ideally, right? BC skills are just one tool in the toolbox, and so there's sometimes where being the smart decision maker doesn't help or apply either, even in a large MWC setting. Sometimes, like the BC skill in that moment is actually what matters, right? So that's why you need both, and that's why you need every tool in the toolbox. But statistically, on the LAR, like in the grand scheme of things, I personally would rather take a player that's like a 3-ball BC skills but clear 4-ball decision-making positioning player than someone with 4-ball BC skills and 3 balls decision-making. You know, the decision-making usually matters more in the grand scheme of things.
So I got a question for you. So what are some of those names? Let's go with the positive one. Those names are easier to throw out. Who are players who have 3-ball BC skills but 4-ball decision making and become 4-ballers because of that?
That's a really good question. Give me some time to think about it. I wanted to bring in Dak. Dak's shit talking in here real quick. So Dak heavily agreeing with Limp. You got a fanboy in the audience here, Limp. Dak saying 1v1. We already know. Yeah, I mean,
it depends, right? Like, but I think ideally it's like you still have to be able to be like a decent enough BC player to be able to hang with people when the fight is actually happening. But I don't know. I mean, I think part of it is like even when just ask the question like, who is that guy who's like a 3-baller BC player, but like his decision makes him a 4. The fact that you have to think about it means there's not many. Because like even when I think about that right off the top of my head, I'm like, I don't know exactly who. I'm sure there's some people, and probably there's more people now.
I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna go on a limb and name a name.
Go for it.
I'm not gonna say he could sustain it. It wasn't sustainable, but he showed it. He demonstrated it, at least in one MWC. 2015.
Absolutely.
2015. This player was the best. It was the MVP or co-MVP for the championship team, 2015, TMNT. It's the clue for you right there. Who am I thinking of?
Don't bring that person into the voice channel. That's all I gotta say.
Asmo knows who I'm saying because we were talking about it before. So it's the guy who's talking a bunch of shit to us right now, Dak. Perfect example of someone who clearly can never be a 4-ball clicker. Not gonna fucking happen, right? I think people would say,
I don't know. I'm not
you
sure.
You don't know, really? Oh, no. Come on. No, that's Cope, I think.
I remember
that's
Dak being absolutely like strong on artillery units. Like it's hard to kill his shit. To me, right there, that's like you're probably close to 4 if you're like almost unkillable. So I don't know.
What do you think, Asmo?
Dak 4-ball clicking? Oh,
no. I said the opposite. He's the 3-ball clicker.
I mean, I don't think he's ever been a 4-ball clicker. I mean, I guess we have had discussions that with small unit sets, maybe his clicking is better than what a 3-baller would be on very small unit sets. But I would say no. I
was really impressed with some of those small unit sets where you have like a single mortar and like some mauls and be like, damn, this dude can't be killed. I respect players like that, but that's a bias.
To me, Limp, a good 3-ball player
can
do that exactly. Like a good 3-ball, mid to high 3-ball player, he can hold off a 5-baller by also being smart. Like he recognizes that he can't out-click the fucking 5-baller, but he can set himself up in a nice defensive position from a high ground or whatever, and just hold. That to me is a winning fucking 3-baller. That is a 4-ball in a team setting, right? Because they're punching above their weight at that point.
And that's something we mentioned before you were around, Limp, is we talked about, so what's the minimum BC skill someone needs to be a 4-baller, and I think we both said 3.5 balls, like a 3-baller, like solid 3-baller.
Like a solid, unquestionable, not a low 3. Let's say mid 3 at least. Yeah, like
Yeah.
mid 3. Like if you got clicking skills of a mid 3 baller, I think you've got enough clicking skills. That's all you need, and then everything else after that is gravy to get you to as far as clicking skills. Everything after that is gravy, and then everything that's going to carry you to 4 ball. Like I literally think you can't be 4 balls at that point. Like you can be a 5-ball clicker, but if you do not understand the decision making and positioning of the game, you will never be 4 balls. I don't care how fucking good of a clicker you are. If you're out of position all the fucking time in a large game, like how can you ever be 4 balls? You know what I mean?
I know how. You have Giant Killer General be your captain and tell you where you should be at.
Well, sure.
think that's all right.
You need some babysitting and hand holding by somebody for sure,
Yep.
right? But
I mean, still, you championed that. You turned a bunch of players that was like your thing at a point.
well, yeah, it was always like, yeah, it's finding like this player doesn't know how to be in position. Let me make sure they're in the position they need to be in, right? Yeah.
I'm just saying, it seems like at a certain point you made a very like conscious decision to be like, my teams are going to be like a bunch of BC players that are discredited because they usually aren't smart players, and then a bunch of like smart role players who aren't good BC players. And you've been doing that for like a decade, more or less.
Well, TMNT, that's what I was going to say next, is TMNT was kind of the antithesis of that. It was like letting go of the BC players completely. Like, I don't really consider any of the TMNT guys BC players, not in 2013.
Who was on that team?
So 2013, it was myself.
The one exception is still Cruniac in the later years.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that's why I did the preface, like kind of the
well, here's a question
asterisk on that of the 2013 TMNT. But yeah, Cruniac for sure.
Weren't Eastwind, Arsenic, and Donsky all part of TMNT teams?
Yeah, but they're not BC clickers. They're not top 1v1 players.
Those guys are cool.
Yeah, Donsky wasn't really TMNT though. He was just 2018.
Okay,
yeah,
I mean, he still played in the finals, did he not?
Yeah, he did. But that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. Is like, yeah, those guys actually are good BC players, but like just like BC player usually is a negative label, but they do have good BC.
Yeah,
skills,
but that's the thing. Is like,
okay. Let me clarify though, Limp. Let me clarify. When I say BC skill, what I'm really talking about is like. I'm talking about, because what you're saying is like they're good BC players, but they're good BC players in a large 2-team setting. In fact, that's when their BC skills are the best. Why though? Because they're also really smart players. That helps their BC in that setting. So the only way we can really isolate out someone's BC skill outside of any like smart team play, positioning, and all that other stuff that's more complex in a large team setting, the only way we can isolate that out is in 1v1. So look at their 1v1 ability.
I'd argue that FFA matters as well. Just because it's like,
FFA 2. Yeah, let's do FFA 2.
Both Arsenic, Donsky, those guys are like strong FFA players playing a ton of tournaments. I think Eastman probably did too, for that matter. I mean, so I think what we're ultimately getting at is that we're missing a terminology. The terminology is wrong. That's, I think, where we're kind of.
I still prefer 1v1 over FFA because FFA, again, it comes down. There's some decision making there. I want to get rid of all the decision making. That's only happens in a 1v1 setting.
What I'm getting at though is it's versions of the same thing. You can still be like a BC player in an FFA match, for instance, and those guys probably were. That's how they won. So I'm just getting at the point that I think there is a misconception about just saying like BC player, meaning like I'm just a big dumb like orc with a club and I'm gonna go smash stuff, and like I'm not thinking like I think we need a different terminology for that, because like a BC player, like most of us who have been good myth players for a long time are good BC players as well as
1v1 player to really be explicit about it, like because bottom line is if I have to play say ours in a 1v1 match, I'm probably going to smash him. But if I have to face up against ours in a MWC match in a flank with a much smaller squad in a large team setting, like him and I are evenly matched for the most part. You know what I mean? Like it's very different.
So 1 versus 1 is totally different. You're right. But I also think that the pool for like competent 1 versus 1 players is like probably the smallest pool of a type of myth that you could play. there's probably like 5 or 6 of you ever who could probably really compete with each other.
Well, I really look at it in terms of relativity, right? Because let's bring in. I'm going to bring up PK into this discussion because PK, I think, is a great example of a player who he's not a top 1v1 player. He's not a top player of any kind, really. But if I have to think of what PK is best at, it is absolutely 1v1, right? And like when I see this match showed it, like you throw him into a large team setting and he just cannot perform at the same level as you would expect him to given his 1v1 ability, you know, and the difference is glaringly obvious, right? And then the same thing with Shaister. That's what I saw again in Shaister in this match. Like Shaister, top 1v1 player, but like it just does not translate for him in a large team setting. And I think all I'm really saying is it took people many, many years to figure that out. And I really think TMNT in 2013 was like the year really we started exploring that idea a lot more. And it's since grown a lot. I think today actually people finally like it's become mainstream now. I think mainstream thinking is okay. Yeah, 1v1 doesn't mean you're a top player. The thing I wanted to mention too from earlier is you guys. So Dak was saying nonsense. 1v1 skills, the price of admission in big roles. It's a top BC player thing. So Dak was agreeing with you, Limp. You know, saying basically Asmo and I are full of shit. But like the thing is, think about all these players who are top MWC players, but clearly did not get there from 1v1 or being a BC player. Like ours didn't become known as a top player from his 1v1ing, okay? Like that didn't happen.
It wasn't from his 1 versus 1ing. It was from the fact that in like Rabble 2 team ranked games, and he was just an absolute.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think you can get your way into those top roles by just being good in Rabble games or large team games in general, even in NWCs. Like if somebody's really good, like here's a prime example, Asmo, Mark. Nobody knew fucking much of anything about Mark, but guess what? Like last year, I would say people noticed Mark was really fucking good last MWC, and it's like, guess what? He fucking started getting big fucking roles this MWC if he didn't already start getting them last MWC, because like that's all it takes. You just need to fucking show that you're good in the goddamn MWC match. You know what I mean? I think that's how that goes.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So BC 1 versus 1, all realistically they're different things. BC is like I think more of like a blanket term, but I don't think it needs to be a bad term. But that's what I'm getting at is like we need to almost like create terminology for what's that player type when you are just like a bad BC player. You know what I mean? Like that needs to have its own name because it is a different thing. Because BC can be a great thing for you. It's just I think that there's a lot of like kind of bad BC players over time that don't get the larger picture and their value is diminished in the MWC setting. So that's not to like confuse the point. I do
1v1 player. Let's just say it's 1v1 player.
Yeah. I do actually think that the smarter player is like having more of them is usually going to be more beneficial for you. I think in the long run when you're playing team myth.
My experience as a captain over many years, that has absolutely been the case. Like, there's a certain tax. So you know, we were just talking about how like, oh, you know, you can take those 1v1 players, those good talented clickers that don't necessarily know their positioning very well. You can take them on and try and kind of avoid a lot of their weaknesses by babysitting them, essentially. You got to be kind of keeping an eye on them and shot calling for them and stuff like that. And then, of course, they have to listen pretty good, too, which doesn't always happen. But there's a certain tax to that. Like, there's a cognitive tax on the captain or whoever's kind of watching them, right? Like, I can only do that for so many players, right? And even when I do it, it's going to definitely tax my own play, my own ability to heavy hit. And things will slip through the cracks sometimes. Mistakes will be made because I can't see everything all the time necessarily, right? And you know, Asmo and I have had this discussion many times where it's like, even when you're trying to shot call for other players, it's sometimes really hard because you might make a call and then 10 seconds later it needs to be a different call, and like you can't be like literally controlling, like trying to verbally indirectly control the players' units for them, like trying to give them every little minute detail of what they should be doing. Like they have to be able to figure it out at some level on their own, right? Yeah.
It's a little off topic, but I think I actually came up with a single name of someone who doesn't have 4-ball BC skills.
Okay.
That's a 4-baller. And it's going to be debatable, but I think that's true. HMP.
Ooh.
That's probably, it's pretty close.
That's the only one I could come up with.
That's close.
And,
That's close. I think H&P, aka now F. I think they're a little bit better. I've definitely seen them click pretty fucking good. That's the only like. I like my example of prime Dak. Like Dak like peak fucking. It's got to be peak Dak. Because otherwise he ain't gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it. You know, he might be high 3, but he ain't gonna get to the 4. But
what are we talking about? We talking about peak Dak? What match in 2015?
He is hanging on by his fingernails.
Yeah, he's hanging on by a thread there. But 2015 finals, go look at that finals. Dak was a 4-baller for at least one match, we can say, and it was an important match. Okay, so
there it is. That's what we can do in distance. Yeah. Yeah, that's a interesting. I think Homer's probably a similar player.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I like that example a lot.
Homer veers into having like this absolutely extraordinary BC games where it's like clear 4-baller, and then he has games like Axe on the first game of the NWC finals this year where he just like rolls up into death real quick, and you're like, "What are you doing, dude?" So
yeah, no, that's a great example. I mean, Homer, prime example. Like when you think of Homer, like to whatever extent Homer is good at the game, and you know he's good. I don't want to shit on Homer.
He's great. I actually say Homer's great.
Yeah, he's good. To whatever extent he's good, it's definitely not his clicking skills carrying him there. You know what I mean? Like it's by being like his clicking skills aren't bad. Don't get me wrong.
No,
but
sometimes they are really good though. That's the thing that's strange. Like sometimes you'll give him Trow on a game and he'll just like dominate. And you're like, where'd that come from, dude? You know, like he's one of those guys. So he just has that occasional game where he's like your top damage getter in like a high end NWC game. And you're like, cool. I think it even happened this finals. So it's like he does
Homer's
that.
a strange player for sure. That's why I almost prefer him other role players, like one of those role player spots, because other role players, you know what you're going to get from them, right? Like there's a very fine ceiling that they're probably not going to pass over. Homer's one of those role players, like sure he can have the big blunder sometimes, but he can also like pull out that like very solid high 4-ball game, which most role players don't have that variance.
Super capable captain too, so that probably boosts him in as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we put 2012 to rest. If we want to talk about the last NWC finals, Limp, that you kind of missed out the end of.
Oh yeah, I just felt I missed like the post-mortem. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I never went back and listened because I was so bummed that I had to leave. So I was like, fuck. Yeah.
Do you remember anything that you wanted to say? I'm trying to like dig up the discussion a little bit about it, but
I had to leave right before the start of Game 7. And I thought that Game 7 personally was like fairly significant overall into like just the way that he approached the strategy that game. Like Asmo, I'm talking about in this instance, like I felt like it was like very anticipatory and it like worked out really well because he even had like a YouTube beforehand, like kind of like expressing his intentions on like what to do to win that game, and it like pretty much played out exactly that way, more or less.
Yeah,
which I was pretty.
I hear you. I just and I guess it did. I mean, it did. I can't argue against that. Like it absolutely did. It just pains me because it's like
It would pain me as well.
I made all the correct shot calls to counter what the fuck Asmo was doing, and nobody fucking followed what the fuck I was saying. It drove me nuts, dude. It was so frustrating. Like, I told Paris to link up with Kirk to run away from that Archer Thrall flank in the north side, because I knew exactly what the fuck was going to happen there. He does literally the worst thing possible. He doesn't even guard the home flag. He literally guards that fucking one flag. Oh my god, this makes my eyes bleed.
There were a couple moments that were like, that felt the most significant of all in the game. It was the Thrall coming from mid to the south mid flag that they claimed as home in the water. The defense on the mid flag between like the Thrall and the goals, that was just some crazy clicking that kind of like won that flag. But that kind of opened things up a little bit, and I thought also like having the Warriors split 4 ways gave them more optionality in terms of like how they could approach reinforcing what they wanted to reinforce. But I just noticed that the way that it all kind of played out was like, it ended up where they kind of grabbed all the flags, and they were able to more or less like kite GKJU and LSO towards the flag without like the engagement really happening in time for it to matter. So to me, that's the strategy, right? Like, what else would you call it in that instance, where it's like they managed to kind of like take the 2 best players on the opposing team and the 2 best probably BC players on the opposing team out of the actual results of the game. Means it was a strong strategic win. I don't know how there's any other way to see it. So
yeah, I don't really see it that way. Like, we shot ourselves in the foot more than anything. Like, so the thing with the Thrall middle, like, I told LSO to shadow those Thrall. Those Thrall should have been shadowed because they started going south. LSO wanted to keep his Thrall with his archers, but that just wasn't the correct play to make. He should have stayed on top of the Thrall. That would have probably given us the south flag, to be honest. And then I told our guys to guard the mid flag. There was some discussion about like how many Thrall to leave on that mid flag, and I said 5. But the thing is, like, you can never give a correct number on how much Thrall to guard a flag. Like, especially you just need to make sure it's defended at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, it really, like, if you leave more Thrall on the flag, just means that you can go a little bit further away from the flag before you have to worry about it, is basically what that means. But, like, it depends how far away you are from the flag is going to dictate how many Thrall you need to keep on there, or how far, like, how many Thrall are on the flag is going to dictate how far you can go from the flag. And clearly, if you look at our mid defense on that flag, we got too far from that fucking flag. It wasn't defended like what was said. So
yeah, that's true. That's totally true. That
I mean, I get it. Like, from Asmo's perspective, it looks like we just like fell into the trap. But like, from my perspective, it was like, I don't really feel like we fell into the trap so much as we just didn't do what we needed to do. So it made it look like we fell into a trap, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it was still good. I mean, it was. I do like, you know, what Asmo did, sinking the Thrall and flanking to the south. Like, that was all good. I wish we had done the same thing, essentially, like, which we did. Like, I told LSO to do that, and you just whatever. We just didn't do it.
I mean,
right, so
I thought it was. I mean, that being said, as an observer, I thought it was a really like exciting way for the last game of a 7-game match to be played on like a somewhat of a standard in K or light, and you guys have to have for both of your teams to have the same trades. Made it a pretty exciting for how it would play out. I really wanted to see what would happen and to see it play out more in the way that it did, as opposed to just like a straight BC like lineup BC fight. I thought it was pretty cool. It was an exciting way for it to end. You know what I mean? Like, I think that realistically the goal players on the mid flag were the people who kind of won that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They did a great job on it, and I think that was what really swung it, because like that was a hard battle to win there with what they had. But yeah, just a really interesting way to close out the entire finals.
It was at least a really close match, right? Like we could never win against Asmo's team, but at least all of them were close matches, with the possible exception of the first one. Although it was 3-2 in games, wasn't that close. We definitely got smashed, but the top bracket finals and grand finals were I think pretty close. Yeah.
Oh, they're very close. Very, very entertaining to watch.
And what's painful though is like Asmo didn't even have his best roster. Like, not even close. He's missing like two of arguably his best players, and like we still we definitely underperformed what our roster was capable of. That's all I can say about that. Like I definitely think even if we had performed at our best, Asmo's team should still be better. Like that roster is fucking really strong, but
I think it's
a best roster showing, but
I think it's a good thing Ghengis didn't play this tournament, because that might have.
Yeah, we probably might have got smashed way worse. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, if Ghengis shows up like he can, then he's such a boost. So.
For sure. Dax talking more shit, saying that I don't know. Dax saying that's not what happened in voice chat. He's saying I'm full of shit, basically. I don't know, Dax. I'd like to see the voice chat, because I'm pretty sure.
I didn't even understand. What was he trying to say? That's not what Haynes, or did he mean to say happens, or what?
I don't know. Dak's gonna have to clarify. I cannot interpret. I'm guessing, knowing Dak, he's saying I'm full of shit. I can just guess. So, which is fine. That's fine.
That's fine.
That's why I like Dak. You know,
we're all full of shit.
Yeah.
Let's be real. So that's fine.
What about ideas for next episode, Asmo? Like maybe something with TMNS in 2013, right? Maybe something like that.
Are we talking like in a month, or what time?
Yeah, like a month. Yeah, we'll do like an episode, like we were saying.
We'll see if there's a good draft finals, that might be worth covering, but we don't know what that looks like yet.
Dak says correct. I'm full of shit. I'd like to see those voice chats, Dak, because I'm pretty sure the 3 calls I mentioned were in there.
I thought I also had it, but never got released.
Yeah, probably because we lost, right? So.
Cough it up, Elsa. I want to hear it.
I'm pretty sure I made those 3 calls and they never happened. I'd be willing to bet money on it. So. I don't know why Dak, I think, was listening in. I'm guessing is what happened. So he must have been listening. I'd like more detail from Dak on what exactly he thinks I'm full of shit about. But
he was on your voice. I don't know the specifics, but he asked me to stream, and he said, "Oh, never mind, also streaming." So I know he watched it on your guys'.
Yeah, he was watching. Yeah. He was there. All right, well, let's wrap up the episode. It's been long enough. We'll try to maybe in a month or so do maybe TMNS against WTC, that upset, or TMNT versus TMNS, the one. I think I can't remember. There was a match in the QR between those two teams too, but DE2. I know we had a match in DE2. I know for a fact. So. Oh! I can't wrap up the episode now. Dak's joining in 5. Dak just cannot help himself with all the bullshit and lies being spouted out of my mouth. He's got to come in here and correct the record. So I guess we have to give Dak his due and wait for him now.
The T-Cox versus Armageddon bottom bracket finals in 2008 is really good too. It's actually crazy that Armageddon won that Mithril Cup after seeing the T-Cox series, because they should have lost that one, and then they end up beating NC, who I thought NC would win that too. Armageddon, yeah. Armageddon might be one of those few teams who is probably not the best team that won it, in my opinion.
Interesting. That's an interesting take. Man, I never thought about that.
I think I said a couple of weeks ago about how I felt that was like one of the biggest upsets for me was when we lost that one to Armageddon.
They got Kirk. Kirk is, some people don't think Kirk's a great. I think Kirk's a fucking really great player. People may not like him, but he's fucking good. Chicken Wire. That was Chicken Wire's like best fucking year, man. I don't here.
It was. There were strong players on the roster, but it was a really like mishmash roster. Like Migraine had like a major spot, if I'm not mistaken. Which
Migraine, Enigma. Who else? Like
that's true. Those are
Liger,
pretty low.
dude. Liger was started.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Liger's not good. No.
Yeah. So there's some players on there that are a little suspect, but they did have good players on there too. I think Gecko might have been on Armageddon. I'm not sure.
He was just not in the finals.
Yeah. Obviously Paris was on there. I think Nemesis was on there, and Nemesis was a strong player at points.
Yeah, Nemesis is a weird one. I don't know. He's inconsistent, I would just say, right? Like he could be either pretty solid or like not good at all, right? It's hard to say, but
yeah.
All right, Dak, the floor is yours.
You guys were baiting me. I was feeding a newborn and figured you didn't want screaming in the background on the voice here.
I got screaming kids in the background already anyway, so it's all good.
They don't come through. So I didn't listen to the episode last week. I just heard Asmo kind of give me a rundown. And I was like, oh, that's not true. That's not right. You and LSO. So I just want to start by saying it was not that like LSO lost the match for you guys. It was that he didn't win it for you. Because like Asmo's team was heavily favored. The whole tournament we were saying that, right? I don't know, did that come up in the last episode?
Asmo's team smashed us in the QR. So I mean, I knew it before the tournament. I think maybe I was the only one, maybe besides Asmo himself, that knew that we were the underdogs going against Asmo's team before the QR match. But after the QR match, it should have been abundantly obvious to everybody that we were the underdogs. Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. And LSO had a really, really bad series, I thought, just because I watched from his perspective because he was streaming to Discord. And I don't know, that was rough to watch. But it's just the last game, right? The last game specifically you're talking about was sort of, I think, LSO dropping the ball a little bit in terms of not panning around the map. Giving something like, you guys are talking about getting captain 22% that game. He was giving 22% to your number 5 or number 6 guy every game, which was Paris, right?
Dude, yeah, don't get me. I mean, I already spoke my piece on that in the last episode. Okay. Yeah.
So that was kind of a big boggle there, but like with a Thrall defense on the mid flag, like it was back and forth. It was like, no, take everything, get south, wait, go back to D, wait, go south, and then calling for like 5 Thrall on D, and then wanting more afterwards. Like you guys were back and forth on that. So I heard you say that today at the very least. Last week I didn't hear it so much.
Well,
or last week, you've heard like that one game.
I don't know if what you're referring to is like back and forth about how many Thrall to put on flag D, but the thing was like for like a good 30 seconds before I said anything, like we had like 1 Thrall on the flag, and I was like, guys, we got to guard the fucking flag. Like, what are you doing walking off the fucking flag? And then they're like, well, how many Thrall? And I'm like, and nobody said anything. I'm like, 5 at least. And then like people just like took that to heart. But like the thing is, you can never give, that's what I was saying earlier, you can never give a correct number on how many Thrall to leave on the flag. The bottom line is you just need to make sure it's fucking defended. Like you got to make sure that you're able to reinforce it if it's under threat, right? And so at the end of the day, that's what didn't happen. So
yeah, he took a bunch for offense too, right? I mean, he needed to have a whole bunch to do offensive things down in the south because the home flags collapsed for you guys up top. So it was, I don't know. I'm not saying right call, wrong call. I'm just saying that, it was a back and forth with you and LSO. LSO had a really bad match. I'm gonna kill him here a little bit. He was not panning around the map all that much, man. Like he was focused mostly on his units, his set, and just letting you guys handle your stuff on different flanks. And then he kept giving Paris like heavy hitter units every game.
Dude,
he kept giving him.
I know the thing with Paris. Like it was so obvious from the match before, and he just kept doing it again the next match after. I didn't understand it. I mean, granted, him and I talked about everybody's roles. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to throw him completely under the bus. But the matter of the fact is, that last game, it was not discussed giving Paris that warrior back. That was not part of the fucking plan, and I absolutely never would have done that. So.
Yeah, the other fun stuff was Paris kept disconnecting from Discord. It happened at least twice.
Oh, I did not notice that at all.
Game.
I did
You
not
guys were like,
notice.
"Oh, Paris, good game, man! You had a hell of a game there. You were giving him, kudos, and he wasn't even in the fucking Discord.
Oh,
because
wow.
He had dropped out and disconnected.
Yeah, and that
Or
I know what
whatever.
game you're talking about. It was the Alpine game.
Game 2 or something. I don't know. It was pretty early.
It was the Gen game with the generals.
Yeah,
Probably. And then later when we looked at the film, he was actually like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes too slow and doing what he should have actually done. So.
Right. And he was not responsive to a lot of the voice chat throughout the whole thing anyway. But whatever. I mean, it is what it like. I don't need to lay it any more than I already have. I just want to go back to the one-on-one, the BC skill stuff, right? As a price. Like Limp pretty much crystallized what I was thinking when I was listening to it. Is you have to have a floor to even get an invite, right? And the example I would use of that is Asmo. How long did it take Asmo to get on a good team, right? Like Asmo has complained about it openly on the podcast that for years he thought he was ready. He couldn't get noticed in Rabble games or whatever. He had a reputation. He wasn't seen as a good BC player. And then it was really taking the reins with NP in 2018 where people started respecting his captain skills and he was able to attract top talent, right?
I feel like you think we're disagreeing, but I feel like you're almost making my point for me, to be honest. Like
maybe
I feel like I was the one harping against, like what you're describing is like kind of what I see as like the quote unquote old guard of how some aspects of the myth community, especially the quote unquote top tier teams for many, many years anyway, they would kind of gatekeep a lot of players from like quote unquote joining the clique of being on a top team. I felt that certainly earlier, like the 08 to 09 time frame roughly, right before I finally kind of established myself on my own in 2011. Like it felt like that. Like you had to like kiss the right ass, shake the right hands to fucking, even for me to get onto a fucking top team. Like it took me years. I mean, you want to talk about like. It took years for me to be recognized. Like, you know what I mean? Like what the fuck? It's not like I was, wasn't good until, 2009 or 2011 or whatever the fuck, right? Like, so everybody complains about this. Everybody complains about it.
You had to find a way to stand out, right? That's what I'm saying. You had to find a way to stand out. And that's what the whole one-on-one BC skill within games or Rabble games or whatever, because it kind of drifted from a BC skill to a 1v1 context as the conversation was going on for players who want to get on a top team. And when you say get on a top team, I mean a pre-established team that's going to have like its leader or its cores or whatever, its captain picked out, but not like a rape day team, right? Like from back in the day where rape day had no leader. It was just a bunch of dudes, right, who were like BC-oriented players with no strategy, right? I'm setting up that dichotomy.
I really feel like, maybe this is my own ego or whatever. I don't know. You guys can check me on that if you want. But I always felt like I was the one that was trying to recognize players for actually being good years before anybody else would recognize them. Like, I felt like I did that with Absolute. I was the first person to say Absolute was a 4-baller, and he did it like within a year. And if it wasn't for me, I don't think he would have been recognized, really, because he didn't even stick around long enough. The myth community has always taken years too long to recognize good players for being good. For me, like, I try to recognize them the very first year they're good. Like, if you're good one MWC, that's how you're good. If you put in one good MWC, that's how good you are until you put in a bad one. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. And, a lot of these fucking players, like, especially from these old legacy teams, dynasty teams, it's like, oh, you weren't part of the fucking clique, so it doesn't matter how good you are. We're not going to recognize you as being good. And that's what I felt like. I mean, they did that shit with me for many years, I felt like. So I, you want to talk about Asmo, taking forever to be recognized as a player. Well, you were talking about as a captain, but
You guys,
I was the first to recognize him in 2013. Like, that's why
Yeah.
he was on my team in 2013. And by the
I was
way,
actually-
I recognized his potential as a captain in 2013. That was the reason I brought him on, both him and
Yeah.
Rat King.
So that's actually what I was about to interject and say, that it wasn't 2018, it was 2013 was when he first started playing with GKG, and 2014 was actually when he started like being able to captain like the best players and stuff. But I mean, he'd been around for a long time captaining teams. The Living End. What year was that?
By the way,
I
Asmo
mean-
captained the fucking finalist team in 2014. In
Yeah,
2014, he was given a finalist team, for God's sakes. It's not like he wasn't
Exactly.
given a chance.
Well, yeah. I mean, so yeah, the Living End was 2005. At least like the first version of it that was like competitive. And
Yeah, so 10 years.
yeah, so I mean, dude, I freaking hated people like innerly, like inside for a while, because I felt like after the 05 year, I should have been getting invites on the top teams, to be honest. Like I felt like me, Paris, Liger, and Adrenaline all came up at the same time, but I'm this dude who freaking doesn't kiss ass and like tries to go and beat the best players. All those players got on top teams. I guess not Liger, but Adren and Paris did. Then I finished freaking fifth in a tournament with a lot of teams, a lot of competition as like the captain, and people are still calling me two balls. To me, that was just crazy. Like,
Was
I
that
wasn't a
rape
four
day?
baller, but no, it's 2005, the Living End. Like, I wasn't a four baller, absolutely not, but I was definitely like a solid three baller at 05 already. And people
Asmo,
called me a two baller for like 10 years straight after that. It's crazy.
I will just say this, Asmo. I think maybe you had some PR issues or something like that. Maybe you need an agent or some management or something. I don't know. But like I personally, I had no bias. Like I'm not part of the old guard holding down the new up and coming players, right? I think I've proven that about myself by now. And like I did not really know you that well until maybe 2011, 2012 or something. I feel like I only knew of you well for a year or two before I invited you onto a team. So,
We didn't really have interactions until 2010, I feel like.
yeah.
Asmo, it seemed like, at least my recollection of you for quite a long time, was that it seemed like you like wanted to make the team and be the captain of it for like most of the time too. Was part of it. It seems like.
There was definitely a lot of that for sure. I don't think I actually wanted to try to get it on a different team. That wasn't mine until 07.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Asmo has actually a pretty similar capping history as me then, because I did something similar. Like, I captained fucking teams for a few years. Pretty shit teams. I don't think they were even fifth place type teams or anything like that in MWC, but like the War Dwarfs, I captained them, I think, for at least 2 tournaments. Was somewhat involved in capping for Kakra for some years or whatever, but yeah.
Can you guys all individually remember like the very first 2-team tournament you ever played in? I know mine.
2000.
Yes, I do.
MWC 2000.
That you played. Nice. What about you, Asmo?
Mine was 2004, and I came back to Myth after having not played it since Bungie, like probably
And this
early
was
2000
the first 2-team tournament of any type you played in.
Yeah, I didn't play in any tournaments until I came back in 2004, and Mithril Cup was starting in like 2 weeks, and I was like, oh, that'd be fun to play in a tournament. I didn't know these things existed. So I built a team most like World War II. Karma is like the only well-known name on it. He was Audio Slave at the time. It's hilarious that we teamed in that tournament. But I didn't know anything about like the competitive community at that time, and so I heard about this named Odin, who's really good, and so I added this guy named Odin, who think it was this sim Odin, but no, it's like some imposter one baller Odin, and like a bunch of things like that, you know, because I literally knew nothing about the player base, and I wasn't good at that time. I wasn't good until like later in 2004 or early 2005.
Great.
I mean, Asmo, if it's any consolation, even I, in, you know, if you want to talk about myth career trajectories, you know, I probably was like a few years ahead of you, right? I mean, even though you felt like it took you a long time, like in 07 and 08, like I was teaming with Roz and I couldn't get fucking like any influence over strategy and capping and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like even Roz was trumping me in 07 and 08. Now granted, that had mostly to do with Eastwind kind of being the tie-breaking boat. He would always side with Roz back then. But yeah, maybe if Eastwind wasn't involved and it was just like kind of just Roz and I, you know, who knows what would have happened, but...
You played with Capra in 01 and 03, right?
Kakra, 01 for sure. You're the one who's told me I played with him in 03. I didn't remember that. It sounds right, I guess, possible.
It was either that or there might have been some other weird team you were on. You were definitely...
There was some team called Gup in like 03 or 04 or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
You were definitely... I shouldn't say that you played in 03. You were definitely registered in 03. Let's say that.
Yeah, it said, if I recall correctly, I remember reading my threat assessment, and it said like something like I needed to get off of, as long as I stayed off of Warcraft 3, because like I was playing hardcore Warcraft 3 at that time period. That sounds about right. Yeah, Myth wasn't my priority at that time. So,
Dak, you still there? Looks like no. Then I guess I'll say mine, which was I played in a National Myth League 1 with Mything Under the Influence in, like, I think the year 2000 sounds right. And we were terrible.
Yeah.
We did get a couple wins here and there. I think we only maybe won, like, one match, but we were, like, really bad. Ska might have been on that roster with me. Blade was probably on that roster with me. I'm not certain, though. There's a lot of players in the MUI team. Broken Cow was probably there. Trevelyan, he might have been there. But we were quite bad. But that was the first like organized tournament that I ever played in. Yeah, I think we got smashed by like MOR or something like that. But we had like I don't think we made like the past the QR, but in NML2 a couple months later, like a year later, we actually like made it into the playoffs and stuff. So I thought that was like pretty good improvement for us. But yeah, I think that was the first tournament I ever played in.
2000 was like the one and a half years that MOR was a top team. So
yeah, they dominated for a little stretch there. But yeah, I think that was my first. But I think that happened before NWC 2000 because I played on some like absolutely terrible team called Genocide, which there was just like a bunch of dummy accounts from a bunch of people that like we've played with over time. I think Raz was in there. I think I think there's a bunch of people whose names are even escaping me right now, but there's a bunch of people on there. There's some Trow players names you'd probably recognize if you saw them yourself. GKG.
Like who?
Dude, I can't even think of a name off the top of my head, but I think let's see. Asmo, can you bring that up?
What year?
Myth World Cup 2000. Can you like just post that website?
That one's down. I don't have access to that one.
No, that sucks.
It was up until like a few years ago.
Yeah, is it still on the Wayback Machine?
No, I can't get anything from it.
That sucks. Yeah.
Asmo, let me ask you, do you feel like, so you felt like a lot of people weren't giving you your dues for many years. Did you feel like I was ever one of those players?
Well, I didn't really interact with you at all until 2010, I think. It's like our first interaction that I can remember.
Why was that, though? Why was that? Because, like, I was around for many
You were.
years
I don't know. I sort of remember you as a Trower, but I don't ever remember talking to you. That's sort of was my memory of you from earlier, is like you're a Trower.
You got a lot of hate back then, Asmo. That's what I remember. I remember a lot of people liked you.
Dude, I get a lot of hate today if I wasn't winning. People would still freaking trash talk me. I mean, I get it. It's part of like the fun half from the game. Like I talk a lot of crap, so it's fine.
I'll just say this, Asmo. I'll just say this. Like, it's gonna take like 5 more years. The myth community is so slow in finally like recognizing people. It'll your dues will come, but it's gonna be like 5 more years. And I say that because that's basically how long it took me, man. Like, you can win every fucking MWC finals for like 6 years fucking straight, like I did. And it's only on the 6th year, maybe some people will start like starting to recognize you. That's whatever reason, that's how the community works. So it is what it is. Yeah. I don't go by that timeline. To me, you just good 1 year. That's all you need. Like you don't need to fucking string together 5 great, performances before you finally get recognized as a great player in my book. But that's how a lot of people think, I think.
Yeah, he just doesn't want you to go dynasty against him, Asmo. Don't listen to him. No, Limp, let me answer your question real quick. I couldn't find my mute when you were asking me. I joined a team in like 2000, 98, 99. I don't even know what it was. I was a TFL player. I did not play Myth 2, and my computer couldn't even run Myth 2. And nice. I remember spending 20 minutes getting Myth 2 started up, and I captained a team in some tournament of TFLers, and I got fucking... It was it Demise? I think it was Demise was the map that we were playing. And I got Max Thrall, Warriors, and Pus as a TFL trade, and we died to Dwarves, and I was like, what the fuck is this Myth 2 Dwarf? And I had one game, and I was like, nah, you know what? That's whack. Fuck that. It took me like 10 minutes to load the map. My computer couldn't handle it. I just bounced after that. That was my first tournament.
So we've all been playing tournaments for quite a while.
Dak, did you hear us talking about how you're the epitome of a 4-baller with 3-ball?
Yeah, I'm pissed about it. I've never been a 4-baller. I was telling my wife, like, they're baiting me so hard to jump on. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go. Shit. So it worked. It worked. But I wanted to drag it back, right? Like, so I want to use a case study of a player like LSO, right? LSO has been around for a few years. And what did LSO do that got your attention, GKG? Was it his play in Rabble games? Was it tournaments? Or was it his BC ability that really stood out to you first? Like, which one did you notice first?
I mean, it really depends by what you mean. Like, on one hand, are you asking me about his BC ability or his captaining ability, right?
Well, but he didn't have captaining ability at first, right? Like, what do you notice about a player when you're
I would say he did, because he would captain teams. They just weren't like great, but like he would do it though. That's what put him on the map for me, is the fact that he was like someone who was actually like willing to captain.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Limp, to be honest. Like, LSO was not a top tier 1v1er until about 2020-ish, basically, right? Like, yeah.
I mean, well, let me expand it beyond the 1v1, because you guys kind of reduced it a little bit to 1v1, but I want to talk about, like, the BC, the person who is going to take units and win in a fight, like in an even versus even fight, which is what one-on-one is. You'd expect them to win the engagement, right?
I do not recall. I will tell you this. LSO and I came very close to teaming together in 2018. Very close. And I remember thinking about him at the time that, like, he was... I don't even know if I considered him a 4-baller at the time, to be honest. So that was 2018. He grew a lot in 2 years thereafter. He's been growing a lot ever since, quite honestly. But, he was like a good 3-baller for a few years, and then like it was like, okay, now he's maybe a 4-baller. Like 2018, he was like probably knocking out the door of 4 balls. It's kind of debatable at that point, maybe. That's what I remember.
I don't know. I feel like when people are talent scouting for their teams, if they have openings or recruiting players, that they're going to notice their ability to kill shit. That's going to be the first thing that jumps out.
Dak, I agree with you that's how 90% of people think. I agree with you. You're proving my point. Like, we're both saying the same thing. I just think that those people are incorrect. Like, they are thinking about it way too one-dimensionally. I have never thought like that ever. And in 2013 with TMNT, like, it proved to me that was correct. Like it was the final proof that like, and then I started even thinking more against that, right? Like I think of all the well-rounded characteristics of a player. Are they good in with every single unit type, every single role? Are they good offensively, defensively? Are they a shot caller? Can they captain and strategize? Like, there's so many different elements to a player, dimensions to them. Like I think I understood the multi-dimensionality of players pretty early on. So that's all I'm saying is I don't think I can only speak for myself. I do not personally evaluate players like that. I don't think anybody can accuse me of doing it as such. My results speak for themselves, like I think it works, right? What really put LSO on the map for me, to be honest, was him winning. I kind of agree with what Limp was saying, that first of all, he was a very eager, enthusiastic captain. He was clearly trying to figure out the captain thing for a few years. Like he was copying me for a little while, which is fine. Like he's trying to figure it out. Like I appreciated that. Everybody learns first by copying whatever is the best, like currently, right? Like that's the way to first start out learning. So I would do the same thing if the roles were reversed. But what really put him on the map for me, as I've said many times before, was him beating Rat King's team, whatever team Rat King captained, in one of the draft tourneys around 2020. It wasn't the Karma Classic or whatever that year. It was another one. There were so many of them going on that year. It was some other one. I can't remember exactly what it was. But I actually tried helping Eastwind and Rat King with trades and strats going against LSO. Limp, I think you were on LSO. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering. But anyway, LSO captained a clearly inferior team. Rat King had the better team. It was unquestionable. His roster was better. And LSO sent me the recordings of his voice chat, and that was it. I was sold instantly. So as soon as I saw it, I told him immediately. I was like, this is the best captaining I've ever seen outside of myself. Like, well done. And it was true at the time. Now, at this point, I think Asmo is actually a better captain than LSO. But, LSO, Asmo, and I are the three, what I would say, fully qualified good captains, right? Like, teams are in good hands with one of the three of us, which I don't think can really be said much for anybody else, quite honestly, as maybe that's going to ruffle some feathers out there. That's okay. So that's what put him on the map for me. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to help coach this guy, because he has the ingredients, right? I'm like a talent scout, man. Like I'm looking for players who have the right ingredients and that want to grow as players. I can fucking help them on that path. And it's not to try and take credit. It's just, I always say anybody who learns and becomes a better player, even if I help teach them, they get all the fucking credit, because people that can actually learn and grow are a very rare thing indeed. So they get all the credit. He deserves a lot of credit for what he did, and that's why I immediately started involving myself. If you look at it, I did not involve myself with LSO until 2020, after I fucking saw that shit. Then I started. I coached. I kind of coached Shad, who actually LSO was on a different team. I first was coached Shad for a draft tourney, and then LSO and Shad joined up together, and then like things kind of migrated from me coaching Shad to me coaching LSO, and he took over from there, and the rest is history. So that's how that happened. So for me, it was the capping. Capping is like, I of all people am going to appreciate somebody who shows good capping ability, right? So that's going to get me. That's going to get me to notice somebody real fucking quick. It doesn't have to be 1v1. I really disagree. At least for me. Maybe for other people, fine, but not for me. And that's what I want to try and tell everybody, is that they got to think about it differently. So.
All right, fair enough.
Anybody else have anything to say before we wrap it up? So we're not balling
Asmo
night.
sucks.
Asmo sucks. Okay, it's a good one to get out there.
Nope.
Dak is 4 balls. Okay. All right.
No, okay. So I'll throw one other one out there, just as bait, because I am the example of the bad player, right? Making it on the good team. I'm like what 4-0, and
I think so. Asmo, weren't you showing me the chart with Dak with like 100% win ratio in NWC finals?
Yep. So it's just like, it's not all about being good. Sometimes you find your way on a team through means other than being good.
Dak,
like I wouldn't be on that team if not for Mazing with you guys. You know what I mean?
I guess that's how we like met and became friends, isn't it? It's through Maz. I guess so. Dak, do you remember like 2015? Do you remember like playing better that year or anything like that? Was there something different that year for you? Because like, fuck, dude, look at those finals. Like, I swear, I was like, not like, who is that? Is someone dumbing for you? Like, what happened?
No, it's just
That's the real story.
Yeah. What'd you say?
It was just a unit set, I think.
Just gave you good unit sets that you were strong with?
I think so.
Yeah, could be.
I'm trying to remember.
I tend to be pretty decent about that.
Dak was good in
criticize
2013 too.
No, you know what it was? I was unburdened by a certain somebody that year. I think
Ooh, there you go. I know. I already know it. You don't need to say no more. Okay, I see I see where you're going with that. Yeah, no, I mean, I still think Dak was underrated by the community at large. I mean, I'm not going to say Dak was always a 4-baller necessarily, but I mean, I think people generally thought Dak was 2 balls, and I think he proven himself pretty consistently 3.5 on the TMNT teams for the most part. You know, that's when Dak was active still, which I guess stopped in 2018. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, 2018 is going to be fun when we get to it.
Well, we already did. We did the finals, but you're talking about the top bracket finals?
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah. We'll wait until October for you on that one. All right. We'll wrap it up there. Yep. Hey, it's cool that everybody joined. Got Limp and Dak in here. That's fun times. This is like the all-star podcast bench right here, so that's great.
And the best part is no LSO.
Oh, damn. You already threw him under the bus with the finals commentary, Dak. You just had to do him dirty. You're just pouring salt in the wound now. Jesus.
He's on that, man. Like,
you know, as long as I can bring some like Rob Mahoney energy, I'm all right with it. None of you probably know who that is, but
I have no idea who
maybe
that is.
maybe Asmo knows who that is, but I'm all right with it. He's a podcaster.
Okay, and I will say, if you want to hear the voice chats from that, I would be surprised if Paris wasn't streaming it to his Twitch. He always does that.
Is it like
but he was at a Discord
auto recorded on Twitch or something? Or
I don't know. It usually is, right? Usually there's a VOD. I don't know.
Also said he recorded it. The recording's there if he chooses to release it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did he do that?
That shit got fucking wiped off his
released it, but
computer
he
right
had
after
to.
the match.
Unless he deleted it.
Digital bleach that thing, like, oh, wow, dude,
Yeah.
it's right there with like that missing minute on the Epstein tapes, man. That's where that.
The Epstein tapes. Oh my god. Dak, how are you gonna do your own blood dirty like that, though? You know what I mean? Like.
Hey, he disappointed me back in the day. That's why I left. It's no different.
Shit. All right. You're not gonna keep us up till 5 a.m., Dak. All right, we're cutting you off now. All right.
Nope. I'm gonna get angry and go grab the baby. So.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you all next time. See ya.
Take it easy.